Welcome to Seneca Indians Football, live on kneo.org and delayed on KNEO 91.7 FM. This broadcast is a sporting outreach of the KNEO Sports Network. You are now locked into the official pregame show of the Seneca Indians. This is your home for every sack.
He's got pressure. Gabe comes to take him up and take him down at the 30-yard line. Seneca will take over on downs.
Interception.
Intercepted by Jackson Graham. Way to step in front of that pass. He's still on his feet at the 27-yard line.
And touchdown.
He makes a juke at the 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Seneca Indians. Touchdown, Jackson Mars as he takes it in from 36 yards out.
Now let's join Seth Wilson, Ben Walcott, and Daryl Harbaugh live on location.
It's Friday night, and it's time for Seneca Indian football. We're at Tom Hodge Field at Earl Campbell Stadium, where the Indians are getting ready to take on the visiting Lamar Tigers. Good evening, everyone. I'm Seth Wilson. An exciting night for football. Friday nights don't get much better than this, as the number 1 ranked Lamar Tigers come down to take on the number 5 ranked Seneca Indians. And it's a stadium that's going to be packed. Fans are excited, players are excited, and we're ready for some good football. I'm joined by Ben Walcott and Coach Daryl Harbaugh. And fellas, boy, it gives you goosebumps to have a game. It's only week 4, but you already got a big game in week 4 in the 2022 season.
Yeah, definitely an exciting game here. 2 of the top teams in Class 2, number 1 Lamar, number 5 Seneca. You look at the numbers, Lamar's not giving up any points. Seneca has only given up 15. 2 defensively minded teams. We could be in for a slugfest here this evening.
Coach, such a big game tonight. Should be a lot of excitement for these fans coming in as it's youth night also.
Well, the way the state set everything up, we do know these teams are not in the same district. So if it could play out good, we may be looking at a pregame compared to what's coming up later on in the year.
Hopefully both these teams can win out and face each other. I believe it'd be state semifinals is where they would finally face each other in the district or the state playoffs. But there's a lot of football to be played between now and that time. But it's an exciting night here in Seneca, Missouri. Like I said, the youth night here at Tom Hodge Field, where there's probably 1,000+ fans here to watch this game, to watch their kids walk out on the field. It's a great atmosphere. Like Ben mentioned, Lamar comes in unscored upon. Seneca only giving up 15 points. Hopefully, I'm kind of hoping for a defensive slugfest tonight. We'll see what these 2 teams can provide for us for entertainment this evening. Weather's not too bad. A little bit warm. Picked up a little bit this afternoon with a little bit of a wind blowing out of the southwest and northeast, so it'll see you play any factor as far as field goes. If it's a close game or throwing or whatever these teams decide to do, that could be a little bit of a factor as the night progresses. We're going to send it back to the studio for a 2-minute break. We come back, we'll have more pregame show for you. Countdown to kickoff sponsors: People's Bank of Seneca, Prater's Pharmacy, and Access Family Care.
None of us wants our most secret conversations revealed. We don't want the curtain pulled back on things we've said over the phone, yet God knows every word we say and every thought we think. The Bible tells us the secrets we've whispered in the dark will someday be proclaimed for all to hear. On that day, we will each be held accountable. However, Jesus died to help us, to purge the record of every person who asks Him for forgiveness. To learn more, call 888-NEED-HIM or chat with us live at needhim.org.
People's Bank of Seneca, customer-driven since 1996, investing in our community and you. Locations in Joplin and Seneca. You choose. PeoplesBankofSeneca.com. Member FDIC. Proud supporter of Southwest Missouri Athletics.
If you're a weekend warrior who likes to go, don't let pain put the brakes on your pace. When you need help with an injury that keeps you from moving, you want an orthopedic team with a proven track record. Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is nationally recognized and were recently named CareCheck's #1 hospital in the market and top 10% hospital in the state for hip fracture repair. Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, the experience you need to keep pace with life.
A proud supporter of local high school athletics is Numac Electric. Serving Newton and McDonald County, they provide power for area homes and businesses and want to wish all the athletes much success throughout the season. For online bill pay and account information, the website is numac.com or 417-451-1515. Numac Electric, proudly serving Newton and McDonald County, where their slogan is your touchstone energy partner.
Welcome back to Seneca, Missouri. The Indians getting ready to take on the Tigers in just about 40 minutes. Fellas, let's talk about last week's game against Cassville. I'll be the first one to say it on the air. I was shocked, to be honest with you. Not that Seneca won, but by such a lopsided margin. Those two teams last week always had such close games in recent years, and Seneca just came out ready to play last week. Seneca was able to hold Cassville on defense on their first drive. After that, they took off on offense and never really looked back, racking up a 35-0 halftime lead. Such an explosive performance by the Indian offense. And again, a great performance by we can't overlook that because they held that team to just 7 points, and that touchdown came in the third quarter. So definitely a great game by both sides on the football by the Seneca Indian Ball Club. Ben, Friday night, the Seneca offense came ready to play. We've seen teams try to slow down Jackson Mars as their primary focus. Cassville limited him, if you want to say that, to just 100 yards, right at 100 yards. So it's not really a limit, but nonetheless kept him bottled up a little bit more than what he's used to. If you're a defensive coordinator, you're able to limit Mars to just 100 yards, which most guys would be happy with, most coaches would be happy with. But now you add in the passing game and running game of Gavin Hoover. Now what do you try to do to limit the Seneca offense?
I think the biggest thing is try and make them one-dimensional. Gavin's done a good job of throwing the ball around, but Seneca hasn't been in a situation where you have to throw the football. If you can stop the run or if you can get a big enough lead and make Seneca pass the football, I think those opposing coaches would like their chances at pulling out a victory.
You talk about Gavin passing the ball. We haven't had to do it a whole lot under pressure this year. If I'm trying to pull up his stats real quick, Gavin passing at around a 67% completion percentage, only attempted 18 passes on the season, 12 of 18 for 402 yards is where I have him at. That may not be 100% coinciding with what Coach Hilburn and his guys have, but it's somewhere in that ballpark. But either way, you're right. The Indians haven't had to pass the ball a whole lot to be able to force their hand on offense. Defenses haven't really forced them, but when it's been there, they've taken it and they've had some big yardage.
Well, what they've done is when the defense has shoved up there to stop Mars, okay, we've got some play action passes, and Hoover's been able to throw it over the top to what last week. He hit
Hearn.
Blake Hearn for a big touchdown. He threw it over the top and hit Morgan Vaughn out of the backfield for a touchdown. And Ginger was open, and the guy just hit him right there in the middle, but then he hit the slant pattern to Ackerson for a touchdown. I mean, he's putting the ball where it needs to be put, and they're moving the defense with the run play action passes.
There was one passing play in the second half. It was a third down, I believe. They had a fake screen, and then they had Altick going around on a wheel route. They had him wide open, and I'm sure Gavin Hoover sitting there sees that coming, and he's going to have nobody around him. Put a little bit too much air underneath it, and unfortunately it was an incomplete pass. The Seneca Indians had to punt. One of the few times they've actually had to punt in the season, so definitely it opens up some things for you if you're able to pass.
Yeah, last week was the first time, I think you and I mentioned, was the first time all year that they've actually had to punt the football, and that could be a key tonight. We talked about, and probably get into it, special teams could be key. Flip field position somehow. If you don't get a first down and you have to punt the football, who can pin the other one deep and flip field position?
Well, fortunately, both these teams, our punt return teams, are pretty efficient in what they do. They've seen the field quite a bit. Punt teams probably not so much. I believe Lamar's only had a punt a couple times. Seneca once or twice as well. The offense continues to be efficient, though, through 2.5 games, so just up to last week's halftime. They were 19 of 20 on scoring touchdowns when they had the ball that didn't end in a half or end in the game conclusion of the game. So 19 of 20 on possession scoring touchdowns. We saw some hitches in the second half that we hadn't seen from the team much this year, but the game was out of hand at that point. How does this team find such efficiency for such a long period of time?
Well, first off, you practice. Even coach. Okay, here we go.
That's a coach answer for you.
Yeah, no kidding. But even Coach Hilburn mentioned it. When I was talking to him this summer, or at the very end of summer, and we're doing 7-on-7 drills. He just looked at me and he said, we weren't in a one-back set all last year until into September. He said, we're in one back set. We can move people around. The kids are starting to understand the offense a little bit, exactly what they're supposed to be doing at the right time, at the right place. And if you can do that and you pound it into their head, they're doing it over and over and over, they get better efficiency at it.
Well, not just that, they're able to react. They're able to play. They see it so many times now. They're able to play, and the game comes so much faster than to what it was, week 1, week 2 of September last year, even probably in October of last year. The game is so much more faster because they're used to it. They've got it coached. They've got it preached in their head. Hey, X, Y, Z is going to happen. This is where I need to be for my spot. Ben, what do you think about the efficiency of the offense thus far?
I mean, I don't really have much to add. I think Coach kind of summed it up, and then something we talked about the first 2 weeks, like you said, you have a full summer to finally get through everything, and you're reacting. You're not thinking about what you're doing.
Coach, this next question is going to come your way. Defensively, Seneca's defense continues to give offenses fit. Cassville came in averaging, I believe, 200 yards on the ground. They held them to 45 yards on offense in the first half and 130 roughly for the game. What continues to be the success for them on defense? Is it the line play? Is it the linebackers? Is it the corners flying around? There's just an overall great team effort by the defense.
Well, first off, let me say something about Cassville. I got a feeling that they're going to make some noise in their district. I know we shut them down pretty good, and then we played very well, and it was a lopsided victory. But I got a feeling Cassville is going to pop up toward the end of the year, and those young kids are going to play, and they're going to make a little bit of noise in their district. But as far as our defense is concerned, and I can't adjust to it. I've watched them on film and everything, and I keep thinking, man, Cassville's this and this and this. How much team speed we actually have. I mean, off the edge, linebackers, cornerbacks coming up, safeties covering people now. I think our overall team speed has increased this year, and I really haven't got a grasp on and a hold on it, because I keep thinking when I saw the game last week at Cassville, man, it looked like they were open, and then all of a sudden we're there shutting them down, making the tackle. I'm thinking, holy cow, where did we come from? It's like, yes, we're flying to the football, and that's just not one person, that's everybody on the team.
Coach Hilburn likes to talk a little bit about how every single time on defense there's 11 guys surround 11 hats to the ball. That's what they look for. There's things you used to do called the rabbit drill or something like that back in the day, where you'd have 11 guys running to the football as part of your conditioning just to get the effort downfield. I saw Lamar doing a bit of that down here in their pre-games, but that's something that they emphasize a lot, and they're able to do that week in and week out. We saw the Indians stringing out some sweeps like you talked about. Cassville like to get to the outside, some jet sweeps, some quarterback sweeps, student body left, student body right on Friday night. We've seen defenses set hard edges, but Seneca's strategy paid off Friday night, where they kind of strung things out. They didn't try to set that hard edge and force everything back inside. What's the advantage of having a string out type of defense to setting the hard edge?
Well, I watched them on film. I watched Cassville on film, and they were just hitting the edges off the teams that that they had them on tape. And I'm thinking, holy cow. And then I watched Seneca play them, and it looked like they got the edge. I'm like, well, here's a big gain. And all of a sudden, we're coming up from the secondary. Our defensive line is not running straight upfield. We're reading and then flashing down the line of scrimmage. It's like, we always call it trap bait. If you run upfield, you're just trap bait. You just take yourself out of the play. But if you can sit there, stick the guy, hold him, read him, and make yourself down the line of scrimmage, that makes them stretch out further. The further they got to stretch out, the slower they get to the edge. And we got all the kids coming up from secondary filling in that spot.
Well, you got those linemen that come around to pull. They're trying to get inside and setting that inside hip to turn around and find anybody that's coming their way. And a lot of times they're not even able to get to turn to find any garbage coming their way because our guys are already in the backfield behind them, essentially making the play on the running back, quarterback, on the jet sweep, whatever.
Well, the linebackers, you got Morgan Vaughn on one side, Jackson Mars on the other side. And I'm telling you what, boys, if they see a little crack, they're going to flash in. They run the daylight. And next thing you know, they're blowing plays up in the backfield. And that's what they were doing last week against Cassville.
Now, there's certain keys that Coach Hilburn and his defensive crew have spotted out on Cassville last week. And before the coaches show, he was kind of trying to explain different things that they were going to do. And to see that happen, to see it come to fruition on a Friday night against a team so just smoothly, it's such a great testament to how great this coaching staff has got their defense ready to go in the right position at the right time, got their players flying around so they can just react and make the plays.
Well, I think is one thing is they put a big emphasis on their defense. I mean, let's face it, and it's an old phrase, and I'm true with it. Defense wins championships. Offense, yeah, you can look good and all that stuff like that, but if you can't stop the other kids, it's a long year. Defense wins championships.
We're going to take a 1-minute break. We come back, we'll have more pregame show for you. Countdown to kickoff sponsors: People's Bank of Seneca, Prater's Pharmacy, and Access Family Care.
Where will you be in 4 years? At Missouri Southern State University, we're here to help you achieve your life goals. Small class sizes allow you to develop a more personal relationship with your instructors and practice your skills in immersive environments. From a healthcare simulation center to crime scene investigation, state-of-the-art science labs, a mock courtroom, and much more. Study abroad opportunities can help you develop a global mindset. Learn more about our high-quality educational opportunities at mssu.edu.
Stashed away at First Community Bank, our new Swipe and Save program makes it a lot easier to stash money away into savings. Once you enroll your First Community Bank checking account into the program, your savings will grow every time you swipe any MasterCard debit card that is tied to your checking account. Swipe and Save automatically rounds up each debit card purchase to the nearest dollar and then transfers the change into your savings account. It's that easy. Call or stop by a First Community Bank location for enrollment details.
First Community Bank, member FDIC.
And welcome back to Tom Hodge Field at Earl Campbell Stadium in Seneca, Missouri. We're less than 30 minutes from the kickoff between the Lamar Tigers and the Seneca Indians. Class 2, number 1, Class 2, number 5 going against each other tonight in Week 4 action. District standings, let's talk about that a little bit, fellas. Continue to show Mount Vernon at the 1 seed, commanding lead, having defeated all their opponents who are up a class or 2 from where Mount Vernon is. Seneca sits at the 2 seed right now. If you're a coach, are you paying too much attention to these standings at this point in the season, or are you just letting the season play out and the chips or the seedings fall where they may? Coach, what you got?
Well, an old coach is like, I don't even read the paper. Who cares? It doesn't matter. As long as you take care of business on the field, all right, everything will just fall in place. Do you look? Absolutely. You want to peek. Let's put it that way. And you hope the kids don't sit there and look and sit there and try to think, they can do no wrong, and they're wearing high-top shoes and platform shoes, and they're a little bit bigger than they think they are, and because you're going to get slapped down in this game. So no, I don't, as a coach, and I guarantee they're not. They're like, what are you ranked? Oh, 5th. Well, yeah. 2nd district. Oh, yeah. Okay. Don't worry about it. It's the 4th year. It's the 4th week. We'll take care of that later on.
Ben, what do you got? That you think the coaches are paying too much attention to this point in the season, or just kind of letting it go?
Well, I basically think the same thing that Coach said is, I think as a coaching staff, they may start paying a little more attention Week 7, Week 8 maybe. You kind of have to let the chips fall where they may. Obviously, Seneca would prefer to have those district games at home, but like last year in the playoffs, they have proven that they won't be afraid to go on the road. And Seneca travels extremely well. We talked about, it's a 2-hour drive to Mountain Grove, and I think Seneca had almost as many fans as Mountain Grove did in that district championship last year. You look at Aurora, we were on that side last year, and it was packed to the gills. We had lots of people around us last year, so this Seneca community travels well. They always support their Indians. Obviously you have a home court advantage, especially on a night like tonight where you can tell how packed it is already, and we're still 20 minutes away from, almost half an hour away from kickoff.
Well, Coach Hilburn talked about whenever his time at Carthage, it became the expectation that you were a top 5 seed, top 10 seed, or top 10 ranking, whatever it may be, top of your district seeding. That's the expectation. That's where you want to get your football program to. Like, this is old news. This is old hat. We're not scared because we have this high ranking. We're not getting overly excited because we have this high ranking. This is business as usual for us, and I think that's what Coach Hilburn and his staff have tried to get done so far with this program just in year 2. Seneca by the numbers. Right now, 70% third down completion, conversion percentage, I should say, 70% on third downs, 57 first downs so far for this Indian ball club, holding their opponents to just 21 first downs in 3 games. Pretty remarkable to be able to do that from the defensive side of the football. 272 yards on the ground per game so far, and only giving up 54 yards on the ground per game. We're going to take another 60-second timeout. We come back, we'll have more pregame show for you. Countdown to kickoff sponsors, People's Bank of Seneca, Prater's Pharmacy, and Access Family Care.
The all-new Roper Kia 4-State Sports Report will provide in-depth coverage of all your favorite local teams, plus scores and highlights every night. The Roper Kia 4-State Sports Report is dedicated to offering more resources, more content, and more stories, all local, every night. Only with the all-new Roper Kia 4-State Sports Report.
Locally owned, operated, and here for you. Check out the new face of the Neosho Daily News, covering Newton County, highlighting area residents, businesses, school news, sports, and more. Find us on Facebook at Neosho Daily News or call 417-451-1520. Go get 'em, Indians!
This week's Blast from the Past. We've been talking about the success of the Seneca defense a lot tonight. Let's talk about a team of 1989. One of Seneca's best defenses to take the field. In 1989, that team only allowed 48 points for an entire season. They only allowed double digits twice that season, 16 to Aurora and 12 to Cassville. While that team's great season ended in the quarterfinals against Warsaw, it was a remarkable season nonetheless, finishing with a record of 9-2. Their only loss is coming against Carl Junction by a score of 6-7 and Warsaw by a score of 0-7. So such a great team, such a great defensive team. They were led on defense by all-district players, defensive end Jason Dixon, who was only 5'9", 165-pound all-district player at defensive end, a 6', 220-pound defensive tackle in Chad Williams, and a 5'11", 170-pound linebacker Gary Cummings. Cummings was also named to the first team all-state team on defense. That Seneca team beat Lamar on October 27th by a score of 40-0. One of the great teams of the past in Seneca's history of tradition, pride, and class. We'll be back with the Coaches Show right after this.
We Christians ought to be lights in the midst of darkness, and our lives should exemplify peace and joy in the midst of frustration, confusion, and despair.
But that's not always the case, is it? Billy Graham understood why it can be hard for followers of Christ to be different from the world around them.
Every possible pressure is being brought to bear upon the Christians to conform to the standards of the world. The greatest need in America and in the Western world at this hour is not a new organization. It is not more money. It is more revival among God's people. And we're never going to have a revival unless Christians discontinue their conformity to the world.
If you want to be different from the world around you, we have some resources that can help. Stop by our website, findpeacewithgod.net. That's findpeacewithgod.net. We're the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association.
It's time for the Cody Hilburn Coaches Show. The Coaches Show is sponsored by Prater's Pharmacy and New Mac Electric. Now here's Seth Wilson and head coach Cody Hilburn.
Friday night, you guys moved to 3-0. Your offense had a big night again, but something you touched on in the post-game interview was the big plays last week really helped you guys out. Morris having only 3 carries and double-digit yardage. Clearly, Cassville was keying on him, and Hoover had a good night as well on the ground. What are some things up front that you guys have addressed this week to help you out in the run game?
Yeah, I think that's been the case through 3 weeks. We got a lot of eyes on Jack Mars, and rightfully so from what he's had. And even on a night that Jack gets a lot of attention, he still goes for over 100 yards there. I think he had 101 yards on the ground. But yeah, we're able to use our play action game and get some vertical shots. And obviously the quarterback run game off the fakes to Jack are really good right now. Up front, I had made the comment after the game, I think we need to be better at, just lining up and running the football. But it wasn't necessarily as bad as I had thought. You go back and look, it's one guy here, one guy there, and then obviously the box was pretty loaded to stop Jack. So we're still a work in progress, but our offensive line's getting a lot better.
Defensively, you guys only allowed the 1 touchdown in the second half. You guys continue to fly around, make plays. Maybe one minor mistake on positioning on a defensive route against a wide open receiver, or against a receiver. The linebackers are flying open in space. Special teams doing their thing on kickoff. Only had 1 hiccup on that passing play. What has been the key to the success of the defense so far this season?
The number one thing we preach defensively is to get 11 halves to the football. And I think more than most groups I've coached, this group will get to the football. We've got some guys that can run on the defensive side. They're physical, and our fits have been pretty good, but when we do miss a fit, we've got that second or third guy there to make us right. I think when you're playing hard on the defensive side, a lot of good things happen.
And on that defensive side, you guys are +6 so far, I believe, on the turnover margin this year, something that maybe last year wasn't a key part of your defense, but this year seems to be clicking well for you guys. What's enabled your team to get so many turnovers so far?
Yeah, I think it's that same concept is getting multiple halves of the ball. We get that first guy that secures the tackle, and that second guy can be more of a ball hawk and try to get that ball out. And then here comes 3, 4, 5 to the mix. That ball goes out, and we got a lot of hats there and got a good chance to recover the football.
Prater's Pharmacy in Seneca is a proud supporter of the Seneca Indians. The pharmacy is open from 9 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and from 9 to 1 on Saturday. They offer an automatic refill program and internet refill service online at praterspharmacy.com and through their mobile apps. They also have a drive-through window. Prater's Pharmacy at 1711 Cherokee in Seneca, 417-776-8701. Go Indians!
A proud supporter of local high school athletics is Numac Electric. Serving Newton and McDonald County, they provide power for area homes and businesses and want to wish all the athletes much success throughout the season. For online bill pay and account information, the website is numac.com or 417-451-1515. Numac Electric, proudly serving Newton and McDonald County, where their slogan is your touchstone energy partner.
Lamar comes to town this week, probably going to get a lot of immediate attention in Seneca, Missouri, as both teams are in top 5 in Class 2, both undefeated. Everyone in Southwest Missouri knows the success that Mars had as a team over the last decade and a half. One of the few losses they've had came against the Indians back in 2019, 11-15. What do you do as a coaching staff to make sure your guys are mentally prepared for a tough opponent on Friday night with the last decade of success that they've had?
The conversation we've had is our kids understand it's only week 4, and the grand scheme of things, we're just focusing on ourselves. And we always, we use our 1% model, but we talk about, climbing a mountain, and the year is a big mountain for us, and we're hoping to get at the top of that mountain sometime in December or so. So this is just week 4. It's another step for us. So we're going to focus on the things that we need to improve on and not get caught up in the big picture quite yet, and just try to get better when we go out there on Friday night.
Offensively, Lamar's putting up a lot of points as they have in years past. You expect to see them much of running 2 quarterback stuff, a lot of misdirection. What do you expect to see from them on offense?
No, they've kind of went away from the 2 quarterback offense, but they're going to spread you out. They're going to put 5 skilled kids on the field that can all run. Every single one of them have a chance to go the distance when they touch the football. So they're going to spread you out and try to lighten your box with the B-Shore kid at quarterback who can do it all. He can throw the ball, and if the numbers are right there and if the numbers are right in the box, the quarterback run game is really tough to defend. So they got a ton of weapons, and they're the number 1 team in the state for a reason.
Lastly, Lamar's defense hasn't been scored upon this season. They've shut out every opponent. What does Seneca need to do to punch in the end zone this week?
Kind of the same thought is we're who we are, and we're a run-first offense, and I think we have to establish the run. They have been tremendous defensively, haven't given up a point all year, but they're really good against the run. Seems like you block the first and second level 100% correct, and then here comes the Wilkerson kid at safety, and he kind of erases everything. So, but I think you have to establish the run and not let them make you one-dimensional. And then once again, our play-action game, if we got Wilkerson coming down, we've got to be able to push the ball vertical and have some kids make some plays down the field.
You've been listening to the Cody Hilburn Coaches Show. The Coaches Show is sponsored by Prater's Pharmacy and Numac Electric. We'll be back with more Indians football after this on the KNEO and Seneca Indian Sports Network.
People's Bank of Seneca is proud to support this portion of the game. They offer banking services including checking and savings accounts, CDs, and loans for individuals and businesses. They have locations in the Seneca and Joplin areas and are online at peoplesbankofseneca.com. People's Bank of Seneca, proud supporters of the Seneca Indians. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Proudly supporting the Seneca Indians is Doug's Body Works. Owned and operated by Doug Scribner, they offer a 24-hour wrecker service and specialize in auto body and frame repair. Doug's Body Works is located at 1008 Oneida in Seneca and is proud to serve the local area. 417-776-8611. Go Indians!
As we're in Seneca, Missouri, where the Indians are getting ready to take on the Lamar Tigers, we're going to send it back to the studio for a 3-minute break as the band is taking the field for the playing of our national anthem.
It's easy to go through seasons of life taking things for granted and thinking it'll all work out. However, when life is disrupted, we start thinking more intentionally. Like the people we care about, they're even more important. But only one thing offers us peace that lasts for eternity, and that's knowing Jesus Christ as our Lord and Savior. If you want to learn more about what Jesus Christ did for you, or how to have a personal relationship with Him and find eternal peace, call or text us at 888-NEED-HIM or chat with us at chataboutjesus.com.
Seneca Indian Athletics is sponsored by Prairie Top Chiropractic. Located at 4556 Quince Road in Seneca, chiropractic physician Seth Wilson offers chiropractic services to Seneca and the surrounding areas. For appointment information, their phone number is 417-776-4556 or discover more at facebook.com/Prairie Top Chiropractic. Prairie Top Chiropractic, where their slogan is Better Health, Better You.
Proudly supporting the Seneca Indians is Doug's Body Works. Owned and operated by Doug Scribner, they offer a 24-hour wrecker service and specialize in auto body and frame repair. Doug's Body Works is located at 1008 Oneida in Seneca and is proud to serve the local area. 417-776-8611. Go Indians!
A sponsor of community broadcasting on KNEO, Southwest Missouri Bank in Neosho, serving the Neosho area from 2 locations. They offer personal banking services, including checking and savings accounts, home loans, and online banking. Learn more online at smbonline.com. Southwest Missouri Bank, an equal housing lender. Member FDIC, where their slogan is Southwest Missouri Bank, we can do that.
Hey, it's that time of year again. On Friday nights, you can come out and watch the Seneca Indians play football. And then on Sundays, let me invite you to come right next door to the Seneca football field to the Seneca Church of Christ. On Sundays, we have Bible classes for all age groups at 9 a.m. and worship services at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. On Wednesdays, we have Bible classes at 7 p.m. And on Tuesday mornings during the school year, we have Devo and Donuts at 7 a.m. for all junior high and high school students. We'd love to have you come visit us. We are proud supporters of the Seneca Indians. Go Indians!
People's Bank of Seneca, customer driven since 1996, investing in our community and you. Locations in Joplin and Seneca. You choose. PeoplesBankofSeneca.com. Member FDIC. Proud supporter of Southwest Missouri Athletics.
Welcome back to Seneca, Missouri, where the Indians are going to take on the Lamar Tigers in just about 12 and a half minutes. We just heard, before we had the national anthem, we usually have that timed out a little better. Apologize about that, but we just heard from Coach Hilburn of the Indians. Let's talk a bit about this Lamar team. They've shut out every opponent thus far, the closest game being a 28-0 victory in Logan Rogersville. They have an arsenal of talented skill players, about 5 or 6 different guys that can beat you on the ground. They're solid up front. Coach, what do you see the biggest threat from Lamar that has enabled their defense to be perfect so far?
I'll tell you what, I think they've got some of the best linemen I've seen on film. Up front, they are big, they are huge, and they're fast, they're quick, they hold their spots, and it's going to be tough for our offensive line to move them to even get a crack. If you do get a crack, their linebackers are some of the best in the area. Their top 5, 6, 7 guys up front are very good. Plus, Then you got the Wilkerson kid sitting back there at free safety coming downhill, and I'm telling you what, he's on a free ride, and he can feel the crack come downhill faster than anybody we've seen this year. That makes their defense one of the best around.
Well, he's not just him. He's been starting, I think, since he was a freshman in the secondary. And his little brother, Alex, coming up behind him, a sophomore, number 10, 5'10", 175 pounds. He's going to be filling his shoes as well. They had Anthony a few years ago. That Austin and Anthony played together, and now Austin and Alex are playing together. So Coach Wilkerson's boys over there do a good job on the defensive side of the football. I think you just about covered every single level that they are very special at.
Oh, well, I'm not giving the secondary any slack, too, because they can cover the pass. They cover it. The fact is, if you watch tonight, when our receivers get 8 to 10 yards downfield, that's when they get physical. They will hit them, bump them. They will try to knock them off their route downfield. Hardly ever do you see them up right on them in bump coverage. They're like 7 yards off, and if they make it 7, 8, 9 yards on them, they're going to bump them, try to knock them off their route.
Ben, offensively, they run a lot of motion, run a lot of shotgun. If you're Seneca's defensive coaches, what do you focus on to shut them down, or can you just focus on one thing?
I think the biggest thing is shutting down the run. I know they like to run that spread formation, but I think if you can shut down the run and make Lamar one-dimensional, they're a little bit less dynamic. B-Shore is a very good quarterback for them, but I haven't seen him throw the ball that much. And so if you can make him one-dimensional, maybe make him get a little bit nervous trying to throw the football.
Well, Logan Rogersville forced them in some passing situations, some passing downs, and it was good. We saw B-Shore out here throwing in pregame. He's putting the ball on a dime about 30, 40 yards away, so he's able to throw the ball. It's just the thing they're not accustomed to doing. They don't have to do it because they are so efficient in their run attack. They're so efficient in how they block. They're so efficient on getting guys in motion. Now, gone is a two-quarterback system, which was even more confusing than anything else because you got to see who they're going to directly snap the ball to. It was hard to call a game when they had the two-quarterback system with Coach Bailey in there, but that's gone now. But either way, they still like to throw a little bit of misdirection. Sometimes they'll send an inside handoff to Wilkerson coming back the other way whenever all the motion's going away from him, and he'll have a big gainer. So they can throw the ball if they need to, but they like to live a run-first team. Coach Hilburn likes to be a run-first team as well, and look for Seneca to try to establish that run game early on tonight if they can. Like we talked about, only 3 double-digit runs for Jackson Mars last week. Gavin Hoover had a big game. I think he had over 90 yards on the ground. So he's able to kind of pick up the slack, so to speak, last Friday night to see what those two guys can do. And somebody else has got to step up tonight, whether it be Altick on the jet sweeps, getting Wheeler in there on some handoffs to give Mars a little bit of a breather because he's going to be called upon quite a bit tonight on the defensive side of the football to have a big game.
Yeah, definitely. Go ahead, Coach.
No, I'm just going to say we've got to have a complete package if we're going to compete in this game tonight. Lamar is very good, best I've seen on film, and we're going to have to play action passes. We're going to have to run the football. We're going to have to get Wilkerson wanting to come downhill to get on Mars. We're going to have to fake on the inside, put some guys over the top, hit some short routes too, then throw them over the top. We're going to have a complete game tonight.
We're going to send it back to the studio for a 1-minute timeout. We'll be back in 60 seconds right after this.
At ProLube Tire and Auto Center, we know what it means to rely on your vehicle. We race all year and know how to get that extra inch out of every part. Precision, quality, and reliability are not just words to us. It's what we do every day. We know you rely on your vehicle to perform for your family. From oil changes to full-on repairs, ProLube gives you the best racetrack team experience, so you can be worry-free.
ProLube Tire and Auto Center, where we get it right on the road and the track.
A proud backer of the Seneca Indians is Campbell Biddlecombe Funeral Home of Seneca. Located at 1101 Cherokee, they are honored to serve the area with traditional service options including church and graveside services. They also have prearranged funeral plans. For more information, the phone number for Funeral Director Mike Steele at Campbell Biddlecombe Funeral Home of Seneca is 417-776-2251 or online campbell-biddlecombe.
Welcome back to Seneca Indian Football. We're 6.5 minutes away from kickoff. Your countdown to kickoff sponsors, People's Bank of Seneca, Prater's Pharmacy, and Access Family Care. Let's go through our keys to victory and key players tonight. We'll start with you, Coach. What do you have for keys to victory for the Seneca Indian Ball Club?
Well, I would love to be able to hang on to the football and keep it away from Lamar. We've got to have some production on first down, no doubt about it. That's the only way. If we come up in second long, third and long, man, it's going to be a long night. I got a feeling.
And who do you have for key players tonight, Coach?
Well, that offensive line. I think, in all honesty, I think our skilled players are just as good. Big question is that offensive line. 3 new starters this year, 4 seniors sitting up there on that offensive line. They've got to have a good game.
If you look down on the Lamar Tigers sideline, you'll see a familiar face down there. Coach Quinley, Scott Quinley, was in Seneca a few years ago. Now he's taking over the line coach duties in Lamar, so doing a good job getting those guys prepared each and every single night. Ben, who do you have? What do you have for keys to victory tonight?
Score first. Lamar hasn't given up a point all year long. If you can score first, you can see how Lamar reacts to trailing for the first time all season. This might be one of the few times that if you win the toss, I would think you would want the ball versus deferring it. And Coach mentioned this, win the turnover battle. Seneca has been opportunistic when it comes to turnovers. Turnover here or there can help flip field position or give you an extra possession to try and score. In a game that could be tight down the stretch, that could be key in who wins the game. And finally, take advantage of field position. You look at film, Marshfield had one drive start inside the Lamar 10 and could not score. If you have good field position, you have to take advantage. And my one key player for the evening is Jackson Mars. Cashville may have provided the blueprint on slowing him down, but even on an off night, he got over 100 yards. If he can have that kind of production tonight, you may see the linebackers and safeties suck down, and that's where Seneca can take advantage in the play-action pass.
Well, the efficiency of Gavin Hoover being around 70% on the season does wonders for you on the offensive side of the football. You're not so one-dimensional. You're not afraid to pass if you have to. You have confidence in your quarterback sitting back there. Now the confidence has got to come in your line. Hoover, I believe, has not been really pressured the entire season except for the jamboree against Joplin or Webb City. He's not had a whole lot of pressure in his face where he has to scramble, make a play. Yeah, maybe one scramble here or there and end up being a big game for it. But that's going to be the key tonight is how well the offensive line can give Hoover time if it's a passing down situation, because if they're going to be sending somebody, they've got to be communicating up front. They've got to be ready to pick up those extra blitzers along the way.
Look at here. Just look around. Look, the stands are full. Stands are full for Lamar. There's people packed around. I mean, if you can, this is a great atmosphere to play in, and no matter what the outcome is, it's going to be good for our kids to play in this because it's coming again. Down the line, we're going to be playing in under this much, like I said, I don't know if you want to call it pressure. You can call it pressure if you want to. They got a bunch of people here watching them, and it's going to be good for them.
It's great football night in Southwest Missouri. You've got Lamar and Seneca battling here at Tom Hodge Field, and then just north of here you've got Webb City and Joplin, one of the big rivalries in the area that got renewed, I think, around 3 or 4 years ago, and so they're battling tonight each other as well.
I think it's kind of exciting night in the 4-state area, and both these teams, ready to go 3 minutes early. They could just probably feel the intensity down there, Coach, but, both teams rip-rearing, ready to go here, a couple minutes early, and I don't think anybody's going to complain about that here this evening.
Looking at your captains for Lamar as they make their way out on the football field. Number 61, Nautica Parkle. Number 70, Nick Moore. Number 71, Joshua Herbinger. And number 89, Tyson Williams. Tyson Williams, a big defensive end for Lamar, out with injury. The word is that he had a knee injury in about July. Unfortunate for that young man in his senior year, but he was a threat on the defensive side of the football for Lamar last season. But captains for the Indians tonight, number 3, Gavin Hoover, number 5, Jackson Mars, number 25, Lincoln Renfro, and number 52, Christopher Alexander, as the coaches are getting the instructions from referee Kevin Reinhardt tonight as his crew is going to have this game, a big game, exciting game nonetheless. Fans are here. They're ready to go. Hopefully these football players are ready to go and put on a good show. We've talked about how explosive the offenses are on both sides. I'm kind of hoping for maybe a 7-0 game, 14-7 game, something like that tonight, rather than a 48-35 game. But whatever happens tonight, hopefully the Indians can come out on top.
I said 21-17 when I was talking to some people back at the station, so I think Seneca won the toss.
Seneca, I believe Lamar won the toss. They deferred to the second half, or they just wanted the ball. Straight wanted the ball, did Lamar. They'll be going left or right across your radio dial. So they did not defer. Lamar won the toss, and they won the ball first thing.
That doesn't necessarily surprise me. Like I said, if you're Seneca, set the tone. So Lamar may be trying to do the same exact thing, try and set the tone. They've outscored their opponents, whatever it is, to 0. Seneca has outscored their opponents, whatever it is, to 15. And so both these teams probably want to see if they can get on the scoreboard first and put the other team behind schedule.
151 points to 15 as my quick math serves me right there. Ben, you said that, and I was trying to figure it out real quickly, but I think 151 to 15 for the Indians. I don't know where Lamar sits at. I know they're sitting right around 115, 120 points as well. Enoch Miller's going to tee this ball up. Ball sitting in the middle of the 40-yard line, back deep to receive for the Lamar Tigers. Number 6, Terrell Davis, and number 10, Alex Wilkerson. Seneca wearing their all red uniforms, white helmets, white numbering. Lamar, their black pants with the red stripe, white jerseys, black numbering, and black helmets.
Got to watch the return here against Marshfield. They were able to return it back to about the 15 on the opening kickoff. So you got to maintain your discipline here to start the game.
Phoenix got the go-ahead from the referee. And it's going to be an end-over-end kick that's going to be fielded by Wilkerson at the 11-yard line. He's got a big opening to the left side, and Blaine Fritchie's going to just jump after if he got blocked. And Morgan Vaughn comes up slow as well, as he's got a little bit of a stinger. Hopefully he's able to get that worked out, but Blaine Fritchie got blocked. He jumped up off the ground, and he's able to get right back in there.
That's that speed that they're not used to. I mean, Lamar haven't seen the speed either. I mean, we've got more team speed than Lamar has seen this year as well.
Let's hope Morgan Vaughn's okay, as he got stinger. He's coming off the sideline, not able to move his right arm. Hopefully he can work it out on the sideline. First down and 10. Ball at their own 36-yard line for Lamar. B-Shore in shotgun formation, looking over the Seneca defense. Going to send a man in motion. B-Shore's going to keep it himself. He's got blockers up in front of him. Tripped up just enough by Lincoln Renfro. Dominic Wheeler comes in to finish him off. A pickup of 4 yards for B-Shore. Second down and 6.
Nice job by Renfro there to trip him up, because he had a lead blocker in front of him and could have gone for a long ways if Renfro doesn't get him there at the very end.
We saw a big opening there for B-Shore to go through.
Gain of 4 on the play.
I say, boys, they're some of the best around. Our kids up front are going to have to learn how to dig their heels in, stay where they're at.
Morgan Vaughn still getting evaluated on the sideline. B-Shore's going to send a man in motion, and it's going to be a B-Shore keeping to the outside. He's got blockers set up in front of him, giving chase. The Indians defense, Dominic Wheeler and Christopher Alexander there. A gain of about a half a yard on the play, third down and 6.
Talk about stringing them out. That's exactly what they were able to do. You saw the safety come crashing down, and they were able to beat their blocks there. And now you got third down and medium where they may have to throw the football.
We're sitting there. We got held on the outside play, too. That kid, he didn't have his hands on his inside. He had his hands on the outside. B-Shore couldn't jump outside, or they would have had a holding call.
Third down and 5 coming up for Lamar. Opening quarter, 10:40 to go. Going to send a man in motion. That's going to be Wilkerson. Heavy to the right side on their wingbacks. Going to send another man in motion. B-Shore's going to go back to the opposite side. He's got a host of blockers in front of him. B-Shore's going to be tripped up just enough by Altick, but he's going to have the first down.
Make sure you stay tuned after tonight's game for the Final Drive Scoreboard Show, brought to you by Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Also, check out our live scoreboard during the game. Go to kneo.org/sports. Click on the scoreboard link to get the latest scores from games around the area as they are happening.
So far it's been the Joel B-Shore football contest on the offensive side of the football.
Yeah, he's the best running back they got. He's the one you're going to have to stop. Make someone else beat you.
The empty set for Lamar. 2 receivers to the near side, 2 wingbacks. And it's going to be an inside handoff to Wilkerson. Wilkerson's going to make a cutback. He makes a couple guys miss. And coming up to tackle is Eli Olson, but not before Wilkerson can get on the other side of midfield down to the 41-yard line. A gain of 11 on the play, first down and 10.
That's one of their bread and butter plays there. You have a pulling, I think it was a guard in front of you, and then you got that lead blocker.
Yeah, it's a power play. Pull the backside guard and lead up with a lineman and the lead backer.
Saw Morgan Vaughn come in and set that hard edge, and there was not a whole lot of room, so Wilkerson cut up inside of him. Going to send Willite in motion. Handoff's going to go to Willite on the outside. He's got blocker stuff and makes a jump cut. Finally coming up to make the tackle, Jackson Mars and Altick, but not before Willite can get across the 35 to the 34-yard line to pick up a 7.
Seneca's got to find a way to be able to shed some of those blockers, because right now this Lamar offensive line is doing exactly what they want to.
9:30 to go in the opening quarter. No score. Lamar with the opening possession. Lamar gets the signal from the sideline. They all look at the wristbands. They don't even huddle up, and they're back on the ball. Spread out to the near side. Number 15, Tate Ansley with Willite. Willite's going to go in motion. B-Shore's going to give inside handoff to Googie. Googie's going to be tripped up by Morgan Vaughn. Just a gain of a couple on the play. Great read by Vaughn. Googie had a little bit of room, and it was closed off quickly by the junior linebacker.
They're running wide. We're running wide left, wide right. They're just setting up for that inside trap play or inside counter play coming up the middle.
And you got 3rd down and short here. If you're the Indians, can you find a way to make them make a decision here on 4th down?
3rd down and 1. Indians looking to get some momentum upfield. Empty set for B-Shore. 2 wingbacks. Going to send Willite in motion once again. And it's going to be B-Shore calling his own number. He gets behind his big offensive line. He's going to dive forward enough for the 1st down to the 27-yard line. Tripped up by Alexander as well as Bigby.
Right now they're just saying, here we are, see if you can stop it, and right now Seneca can't.
And this is just basically a man-up challenge. Coach B-Shore from Lamar says, we're going to bring right at you. We're not going to throw anything fancy at you. Man-on-man blocking. Let's see what happens.
See if the defense can find a way to get a stop.
Down to the 27-yard line, a 5-yard pickup for B-Shore on that last carry. It's going to be a fake screen pass, and B-Shore is going to keep it. He's going to be tripped up by Alexander after a gain of a few to the 23-yard line.
You're going to have a lineman come in as they're going to rotate as fast as they can.
Stevens is going to check in for the Indians. Ball placed at the 24-yard line, so a pickup of 3, 2nd down and 7.
They're getting those chunk plays that Seneca is used to getting, and like you said earlier, just man on man, can Seneca find a way to beat the offensive lineman up front?
2 wingbacks once again for B-Shore, 2 receivers to the far side. Now they're going to go quads to the far side. Different look we haven't seen from Lamar. It's going to be a screen pass out to the outside. That's Willite giving chases Ackerson, and Blake Kern's going to shove him out of bounds at the 20. Gain of 4 on the play.
They read it well, but at the same point, they couldn't get up there to avoid him getting, positive yards on the play. So now you're looking at 3rd down and 3. Got to find a way to make them hit that 4th down.
4 minutes and 41 seconds eclipsed so far in this game. No score. Lamar with their opening drive. Ansley spit out to the near side. Googie to the far side. Willite's going to join Ansley on the near side. That's going to be B-Shore just getting right behind his lineman. He's going to be just at the line to gain. I think he's got enough for the first down.
Yeah, I think he's got the 1st down.
Ball's on the 17-yard line. Needed to get 3, and that's exactly what he got.
Let's see if they measure here.
He might be. Yeah, he got it. Nose of it, just over the top.
Kevin Reinhardt says 1st down, so a new set of downs for the Tigers at the 17-yard line.
Yeah, we're going to have to find a way to make a play on deep because, like I said, they're big up front, and they're just like semi-trucks just right now, just piling through.
1st down and 10 for the Tigers. Seneca with a 3-man front. Inside handoff, it's going to be a reverse to Willite, and Ackerson's getting blocked to the outside. It's going to be number 8, Willite, and he's into the end zone for the touchdown Lamar Tigers as Ty Willite takes it in from 17 yards out.
Looked like he was able to maintain that sideline there and squeeze his way in. Nobody was able to push him out of bounds.
11-play drive, taking 64 yards and 5 minutes and 7 seconds off the clock. Good snap, good hold, kick is up, and it is through. Kicker number 63, Jose Juarez. 6:53 to go in the opening quarter. Seneca trails 7-0 here on the KNEO and Seneca Indian Sports Network.
Timberline Tree Service, LLC is a proud supporter of the Seneca Indians. Owned and operated by former Seneca football players Trey Wilson and Eli Dotson, Timberline Tree Service, LLC specializes in tree and limb removal, cleanup, and crane service. For more information, call Timberline Tree Service, LLC at 417-439-3733 or check them out on Facebook. Proud to support the Seneca Indians.
Welcome back to Seneca, Missouri. Sponsors for tonight's game, Newmack Electric, Prater's Pharmacy, Seneca Church of Christ, and Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. That's something as Lamar drives 64 yards, 5 minutes, 7 seconds, 11 plays. We have not seen that against us the entire season thus far. A long, sustained drive against this Indian defense, and Lamar's able to do that on their opening drive.
There's a reason they're number one in the state. You just saw it up front.
Seneca does a good job of making adjustments at halftime, so that happened a lot last year. Hopefully they can make those adjustments here in game.
Mars and Alty back deep to receive. Ty Wilhite's got the go-ahead from the referee. Ball placed in the middle of the 40-yard line. It's going to be a short end-over-end kick. That's going to be fielded by Blake Skelton at the 24-yard line, trying to make a man miss, and he's going to get stopped at the 32-yard line. Seneca will have it first down and 10.
Turner Performance in Seneca is a proud supporter of Seneca Athletics. They offer sales, have a service center for ATV, side-by-side mowers, and more. Open Tuesday to Friday, 9 to 5, and Saturdays till noon. For more information, 417-776-5928. Turner Performance at 1604 Cherokee Avenue in downtown Seneca.
I believe they stopped for a water timeout. We'll take a 30-second break. We come back, we'll have Seneca's first possession on the KNEO and Seneca Indian Sports Network.
Marine Center Incorporated is a sponsor of Seneca Athletics. In business since 1979, they offer Mercury and Suzuki motors, along with low boats as well as boat repairs. Located at 4961 Highway 43 in Joplin, Missouri, open Monday through Friday 9 to 5, Saturday 9 to 12, and closed on Sunday. For more information, the phone number is 417-781-7450 or online at marinecenterjoplin.com. The Marine Center Incorporated, where the slogan is, your family boating headquarters.
First play scrimmage for the Indians. Handoff's going to go to Jackson Mars, and he's going to fight for yards, and he's going to be down to the 41-yard line. Penalty flag thrown at the 33-yard line in the air of holding. Coach Hilburn's not happy with the call as he's trying to figure out why that was called. Don't think it was a holding penalty whatsoever. I didn't see the play happening. Coach, did you see anything down there? And it's a holding penalty. 10 yards from the spot of the foul, so taken back to the 23-yard line already. Seneca's behind the chains on their first play.
Hey, that wasn't, on the sideline, that wasn't a hold. He just got knocked the crap out of him. He just knocked him down. He just knocked him on his rump. There wasn't no hold there. He just knocked him on his butt. That's what happened. I'm sorry, Seth. Getting excited down here.
First down and 19 for the Indians. Ball on their own 23-yard line. Had a 9-yard run by Mars. Now it's wiped out. And now they go the opposite way, 9 yards. First down and 19. Hoover talking to Mars, trying to get the right play set. Looking over the defense. No safety over the top as they've got a lot of guys in the box. Handoff's now it's going to be another penalty flag on the near side once again.
I think you're going to have a false start here.
The left tackle, Bigby, got up and reset. So it's going to be another 5-yard penalty.
Can't do this against good teams. Put yourself behind the chains. Now you're looking at 1st and 24.
Now ball all the way back to the 18-yard line. 6:23 to go. And I don't know why the clock's already started because they haven't even ran a play yet, if I'm mistaken. Should the clock be running? Either way, first down and 24 for the Indians offense. Action split out to the near side. Ginger and Olsen to the far side. Mars to the left of Hoover. And it's going to be a quick hitch to Ackerson. He's got it hauled in. And he's got it up to the 26-yard line, a pickup of about 8 on the play, so a good chunk of that back on one play down to the 16.
Love to see another play like that and then try and get it to 3rd and manageable if you're the Indians. You love, play action pass.
Well, they, like you said earlier, Seth, there ain't nobody in the backfield. They're all crammed up. Said stop Mars. If you're gonna beat them, you're gonna have to throw it over the top.
Hoover in shotgun formation. Mars to his right. Altick's going to go in motion. High snap. Another penalty flag comes flying in from the far judge. Something we haven't seen a whole lot from the Indians in the season.
And a false start now, and it would have to be on over there. It would have to be on Altick. So once again, you're looking second down and a long ways to go. As they are calling it tight here at the beginning.
So now you got a legal procedure. It's going to march them back 5 yards. Give me second down and 21.
Well, that's already 3 penalties on the Indians when I think previous 2-3 games, I think they may have had 3 the whole game.
Hoover in shotgun formation. He's going to look to pass. He's got a man open. That's going to be no penalty flags thrown as Ginger was trying to come out to his route. He had his jersey held on to, but no penalty flags thrown on that. Trying to look for the little tight end block and release, and it was not there. May have been there if he hadn't had his jersey held on to.
Looked like Lamar had it pretty well covered from the get-go as well, too. Third down and long, you just want to get a big chunk play, try and flip field position here a little bit. So they're going to have to hurry. They're not out of the huddle with 10 seconds to go.
5:09 to go in the first quarter. Seneca trailing 7-0. 2 receivers split out to the near side. Altick on the far side. Hoover's getting a look over the defensive balls on the ground, and Hoover's just going to have to cover it up. Not the start you want to see from the Indians on offense. 3 penalties and a bad snap, and the Indians go 3 and out.
That can be a product of trying to hurry up there and make sure you get the snap before you get a 5-yard delay of game penalty. Now Ackerson kicking all the way from his end zone, and Lamar looking like they're going to have good field position here.
Googie standing on his own on the Indians' 43-yard line. Ackerson gets a high wobbly kick. That's going to bounce down at the 37-yard line, take a little bit of an Indian roll to the 39-yard line. So it's going to be a short field for Lamar with 4:26 to go in the first quarter.
Keep up on the latest Seneca broadcast ball game schedule. Be sure to like us on Facebook, facebook.com/KNEO Radio. Follow us on Twitter at KNEO917 Sports. And this is what we talked about field position-wise. What we were talking about is those penalties, and now Lamar starting in plus field position.
3 plays for the Indians, negative 19 yards, 2 minutes, 27 seconds taken off the clock. Now their defense has got to come up big, whether it be with a turnover or a 3-and-out of their own. Maybe they've made the adjustments and now they're ready to go. 3-man front for the Indians, 2 lined up on the outside for the Tigers. Wilhite looked like he jumped inside, handoff to Wilkerson. Wilkerson's going to dance around. Jackson Marr's going to wrap him up. Wilkerson going to dive forward to the 36-yard line to pick up a 3, second down and 7.
Problem there is, like you said, he tackled him forward. It was a nice tackle by Mars, but he was able to dive forward for an extra yard or 2.
Seneca Indian football brought to you tonight by Campbell Biddlecombe Funeral Home, the Big Nickel, Missouri Southern State University, Marine Center Incorporated, Langford Insurance, Lyerla Heating and Air, First Community Bank, Missouri Farm Bureau Agent Josh Dotson, C4 Equipment Rental, and Timberline Tree Services. Second down and 7. 2 receivers to the near side, 2 wing backs, 1 receiver to the far side. Now there's going to be a shift, and looks like the right tackle jumped. Guilty party Ryan Davis, the senior for Lamar. First penalty we've seen against them. So that'll march them back 5 yards, second down and 12. .348 to go here in the first quarter. I doubted myself a while ago after the Seneca Indians had their penalties. They go ahead and do wind the clock. I don't know what I was doubting myself for, but doubting what was going on, but they do wind the clock after the penalty and the ball's been set. Wilkerson's going to go in motion as well as number 14, Hahn. Quick out route to Googie. Googie's got it hauled in, and he's going to be taken out of bounds by Altick. A big chunk of that yardage loss is going to be picked right back up to ball placed at the 32-yard line, a 9-yard pickup. Going to make it third down and short.
Yeah, they made it third and manageable here. If you're Seneca, you got to find a way to make them make a decision here. if you can find a way to get a stop.
Lamar's going to trade out some personnel.
I say you got wholesale changes here for Lamar.
Seneca defense got to stand strong on this play. Receivers to each side. We see Wilkerson split out for the first time on the near side instead of the H-back. Now they got the two quarterback system, something we thought they were out of. B-Shores are going to take it to the right side. He's got a host of blockers in front of him. He's going to fight for the yardage and have it down to the 25-yard line. Ask Coach Hilburn in the coach's show, do we see two quarterback system anymore? They haven't thrown it the whole entire year. The first time we've seen it tonight, B-Shore gets 5 yards out of it.
Well, you may see it here. They may throw some wrinkles in, just knowing the fact that you could see each other down the road and knowing how big a game it is, just throw the whole playbook at you.
3:07 to go in the first quarter, 7-0. Lamar with the lead over the Indians. Two quarterback system once again. Alex Wilkerson paired up with B-Shore. Going to send a man in motion. It's going to be a reverse to Googie. Googie's going to get forced to the outside. Coming up is Mars and Altic to force Googie out of bounds. Great job by Ackerson to sacrifice himself to take out the blocker so that way Mars and Altic can make that play. Ball placed at the 23-yard line. Pick up a 2, second down and 8.
Yeah, nice defensive play there. String it out. We talked about in the pregame, you got to be able to string them out, and they were able to do that in that play. And you mentioned, two quarterback system, but I really think even though they say it's a two quarterback system, B-Shore is the one that's been handling the rock the entire time.
Jared B-Shore, this is what he grew up with under Coach Bailey. So he's just putting back in what he was coached with. Handoff's going to go to Willett to the outside. He's got an opening there. Not able to trip him up as Olsen. Mar's going to come in and finish him up inside the 10-yard line to the 9. First down and goal for Lamar.
Last week we mentioned, Seth, that Seneca was able to throw the first punch against Cassville, and Cassville wasn't able to respond. That seems like what is happening right here is Lamar's been throwing the first couple punches and see if Seneca can respond.
Well, on that play there, we didn't have – I think they got a little confused on defense because they didn't have an edge player on this side.
First down and goal for Lamar. Ball placed on the Indians' 9-yard line. Two quarterback system in once again. Looks like the left wingback moved, and they finally called a penalty, a delayed penalty. But it is a penalty nonetheless, a 5-yard loss in the play. Going to make it first down and goal from the 14.
But I do think, like Coach said, that they are a little bit confused because it looked like the coaches were trying to put one of their guys closer to the edge, and they weren't moving, unless they were just talking about the false start that they thought they saw.
And maybe a little bit of Lamar changing things up. Haven't been running this the entire year unless they've just been waiting for this moment to put it in, and they put it against the Indians, and now they're a little unsure of themselves where they're supposed to be on offense. Two quarterback system, double wing. Wilkerson split out to the near side. Going to send Googie in motion. It's going to be Alex Wilkerson taking to the left side. He's got a room to run off the tackle. He's going to get down inside the 5-yard line or to the 5-yard line. Let's make second down and goal.
Seneca's got to find a way to get a stop here. Try and stop the bleeding here a little bit, as this Lamar team has not had to pass the football at all. Or they passed it twice.
Football, man. They won't.
Second down and goal. Ball placed at the 6. Two quarterbacks once again. Googie's going to go in motion. Alex Wilkerson going to take it to the outside. He's got enough room to run, but he's going to be tackled just shy of the goal line. Whew. Alexander Renfro is going to come up with a stop just shy of the end zone. Third down and goal. 5-yard pickup by Alex.
But you're looking at 3rd and inches here. Get into the end zone.
Checking out is Nick Stevens, as he's going to be told to stay in, as Bigby stays in as well.
Seneca trying to go a little bigger up front. Watch the quarterback sneak, as you got a full house backfield.
Austin Wilkerson, the only one deep in the backfield. Big, heavy set. Wilkerson's just going to get behind his push, and he's into the end zone with 43 seconds to go. In the first quarter, Lamar punches it in for the second time tonight.
They're just saying, here we are, this is who we are, and Seneca has not had an answer so far.
How them big boys are doing.
Sorry, Coach, we lost you there.
Yeah, they're just doing anything they want to do up front.
On to attempt the PAT is Juarez. Juarez almost had that one blocked by Ackerson. It's going to be up and through. 42 seconds to go in the first quarter. Seneca trails 14-0 on the KNEO and Seneca Indian Sports Network.
The all-new Roper Kia 4-State Sports Report will provide in-depth coverage of all your favorite local teams, plus scores and highlights every night. The Roper Kia 4-State Sports Report is dedicated to offering more resources, more content, and more stories, all local, every night. Only with the all-new Roper Kia 4-State Sports Report.
Welcome back. Seneca, Missouri, Tom Hodge Field, Earl Campbell Stadium. Sponsors for tonight's game, People's Bank of Seneca, Crowder College, ProLube Maintenance Center, and the Seneca School District. Ty Wilhite's going to tee this one up, and this time they come out a little bit different. They have a huddle behind Wilhite. Seneca got to be ready up front for maybe just a little bit of an onside, as Lamar may be trying to go for the dagger here first quarter already.
Seneca's got to make some adjustments defensively. Offensively, they couldn't get anything going because of the penalties. So see if they can get the ball, what they can do offensively. You're almost in much needed touchdown mode here on this drive if you can get the ball back. Change the momentum.
Yeah, the fans have quieted down a little bit, so they've got to be ready to go tonight. Wilhite's going to give a end-over-end kick that's going to bounce down to 20 and going to go out of bounds. So Seneca will take over upfield from where that's at.
And so Seneca catches a break there because you start now at the 35 or 40-yard line on the kickoff out of bounds, unless you want to make them re-kick it. We saw them make them re-kick it a couple times last year, but I
see the offense out on the field already.
Yeah, we're taking the football.
Seneca will have it for the second possession for tonight.
So they should have it at the 35 or 40. No? Don't you get it at the 35?
35-yard line.
They were going to go back to the 25.
I know. I was like.
We'll take the 35-yard line.
I was about to say, I thought I was losing my mind there for a minute.
Receiver siege side for Hoover. Mars to the right of him. Altick on the near side. Let's hope they can get something going on offense this time around. Handoff's going to go to Mars right up the middle. He's got an opening. Makes a catch to the 40-yard line. Still on his feet, taking defenders with him down across midfield as Mars. That's the carry we need to get this offensive jump start.
And get the crowd back into it as well.
16-yard pickup for Mars on that one carry.
That's good. That's good blocking up front. We caved the hole in, kicked the linebacker out. Jackson Mars had just got close to breaking that one.
You do need to snap it at least one more time here in the quarter if you're the Indians.
Hearn and Ackerson split out to the far side. Mars to the left of Hoover. Hoover looking over the defense. He's going to fake the handoff to Mars. He's going to run it himself right up the middle. He's going to get a few yards, and Bigby's going to pick him up and try to carry him for a couple more. And ball placed at about the 46-yard line just to pick up a 3 for Hoover on that play.
Those are the kind of chunk yards that you need.
Coach Hughes is out there screaming at one of his linemen. Didn't like what happened. He came off his block right there at the end. Let him make the tackle.
That's going to do it for the first quarter of play. Seneca trails 14-0 here on the KNEO and Seneca Indian Sports Network.
Prater's Pharmacy in Seneca is a proud supporter of the Seneca Indians. The pharmacy is open from 9 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and from 9 to 1 on Saturday. They offer an automatic refill program and internet refill service online at praterspharmacy.com and through their mobile apps. They also have a drive-through window. Prater's Pharmacy at 1711 Cherokee in Seneca, 417-776-8701. Go Indians!
Gas and Snack in Seneca is proud to support the Seneca Indians and be a part of the Seneca community. With 2 locations in the Seneca area, 1608 Cherokee and just north of Highway U on Highway 43, they offer gas as well as pop and a variety of other snacks. The Gas and Snack in Seneca, Missouri is owned by Nick and Sandra Whitehead, proud supporters of the Seneca Indians.
Third down play coming up as Mars was able to get only a yard in the play. Coming up to make the play is Sturgill and number 70 for the Tigers, Nick Moore. 3rd down and 6. Ball placed at the 45-yard line of Lamar. Trips to the near side for the Indians. Altick, Hearn, and Ackerson
Got to get a first down here.
Vaughn split out to the far side. Hoover looking over the defense. He's going to fake the throw. He's going to throw it, and it's going to go right through the hands of Ethan Altick. He would have been short of the first down either way, and now it's 4th down and 6. Coach.
But that was at his feet. That's not really Ethan's fault there.
Yeah, I was just going to say a low throw.
A little bit of low throw. That would have been a tough catch right there. But I think Coach is looking back going, not.
I think you got to go for it here.
You got the ball across midfield. You're down 14-0. Second quarter, still a lot of football game left to be played, but right now you've got to get something positive going on offense.
See if they get the playoff or if they call a timeout here, because you got to watch the play clock. And if they do have to call a timeout, you may see them change their mind.
4th down and 6. 3 seconds left on the play clock. Hoover's going to look to throw. Got the out route to Ackerson. Ackerson hauls it in. They see where they're going to spot him at. I think he's got enough for the first down.
I was going to say, this side, Judge, you can see where they had it. It looks like he's got the first down.
No. Yeah, he
had to spot it on the wrong side.
Yeah, he had spotted him wrong.
So first down and 10, Seneca. And he still moved it back a half inch after he spotted it. Ball placed at the 39-yard line. Needed 6, got 6. Good catch by Ackerson.
Got 6 and a quarter. That's what we got.
11 minutes to go in the second quarter. Seneca trailing 14-0. 2 receivers split out to the near side. No H-back this time. And it's going to be a handoff to Marsh to the right side. He's got an opening there. He's at the 35. Lowers his shoulder. Still on his feet up to the 30-yard line. Good run by Mars on that carry. And just enough of a gap for Mars to squeeze through. Pick up a bait.
Hey, he don't need a whole lot. He just needs a crease.
8 yards on the Mars run. Sponsors for tonight's game, Southwest Missouri Bank, Neosho Daily News, Doug's Body Works, and Prairie Top Chiropractic. Trips to the far side with Altick, Olson, and Ackerson. Vaughn split on the near side. Got one safety over the top in Wilkerson. Mars to the right of Hoover, and it's going to be a design quarterback run to the outside. He's going to cut up field. He had an opening to the outside, and he cut it back up field, and unfortunately he's going to be shy of the first down. It's still 3rd down and short, so the Indians can get that accomplished in one play. I think he would have jumped a little bit more and got to the outside. He had a little bit more green to run.
Now there's your Wilkerson guy coming downhill right there, number 43. He comes downhill in a heartbeat. But we didn't have anybody blocking him. The guy on the outside, Lamar, had it curved in. I mean, if he'd have jumped outside, that could have been an easy holding call.
Receivers to each side this time. H-back is back in for the Indians in Lincoln Renfro. Hearn's going to go in motion. It's going to be a handoff to Marsh to the right side. He's got enough for the first down. Now he's going to lower his shoulder as he's going right up against.
You got to blow the whistle.
Stood up. Marsh still on his feet as there's several defenders from the Lamar trying to drive him back, but not before Mars can get the first down to the 27-yard line to pick up a 3. It's going to be first down and 10.
Much needed drive here for the Indians. Can you punch it in?
9:20 to go in this first half. Seneca trailing 14-0. Ackerson split on the near side. Olson to the far side. Mars to the right of Hoover. And line up on the left, H-back is Renfro. And it's going to be a passing play. He's going to look for the home run ball. He's looking for Ackerson. Ackerson's going to give a little bump step, and he goes over his head, out, incomplete pass. Makes it second down.
Yeah, it looked like he could have used a little bit more touch on that ball. He kind of wired it in there. If he had a little bit more finesse, give Ackerson a chance to run underneath it.
Ackerson kind of held up just a little bit, turned around looking for if he'd have kept running, he'd have been in great shape.
Second down and 10 for the Indians. Hoover looking over the defense, assessing what he's got in front of him. It's going to be an option play. It's going to be a pitch to Mars. Mars trying to get to the outside edge, set by Renfro. Good job by Sturgill for Lamar to set that edge to fight off Renfro, and only a gain of 1 on the play. Now it's 3rd down and 9.
Yeah, 3rd down and long. 2 plays here to get a first down. If you're the Indians, the Lamar Tiger defensive line did a good job of stringing it out and then able to get off their blocks.
Yeah, they don't like to run upfield. They will notorious for just setting, reading, and holding their position.
2 receivers split out to the far side. Hoover's going to run himself up the middle. He's at the 20, 15, still on his feet, down to the 14. He's got enough for the first down. Great design quarterback draw. Great play action from Hoover. And it's going to be a first down and 10.
Yeah, that's what happens when you have Jackson Mars running all the time, is you fake it to him. I don't even think it really was a fake, but Hoover was open. The offensive line did a good job exploiting the hole, and Hoover was able to make a long run on that play.
This will be huge if we can get this ball in the end zone, especially for the confidence of Seneca right now.
8 minutes to go in the second quarter. 14-0 your score in favor of the Tigers. Hoover looking over the defense once again. Going to send Altick in motion. It's going to be a fake handoff. It's going to be a handoff to Mars to the right side. He's jumping around at the line of scrimmage, diving forward finally to the 12-yard line. But just a pickup of a couple on the play. Second down and 8.
This Lamar defense is doing a good job, like Coach said earlier, of basically setting and holding, and they're not really allowing Mars any room to run.
Seneca game sponsored tonight by Roof Masters Remodeling, Dairy Queen of Seneca, Gas and Snack, Turner Performance, KSN, and KODE. Mars to the left of Hoover this time. Olsen to the near side. Ackerson split out to the far side. Olsen's going to go in motion this time. It's going to be a handoff to Olsen. Olsen trying to set the far outside edge, and Mars is unable to sustain his block enough on Wilkerson, and Wilkerson makes the play for no gain on that run.
Kind of hesitated there. I think if he was able to bounce it outside, then you got to watch the holding call, but at the same point, it seemed like Altick hesitated a little bit.
Coach, what did you see? Do you think he should have cut that underneath Mars's block, or do you make the right decision on the fly there, trying to get to the outside of Mars?
He's on. Play was away from me. I mean, Wilkerson's coming up and making every play. That's as simple as that.
You
need.
I think Seneca might need a timeout here because they're not out of the huddle.
8 seconds left. Coach Hilburn is going to call a timeout. We'll step aside for 30 seconds. We'll be back after this 30-second break.
Seneca Indian Athletics is sponsored by Prairie Top Chiropractic. Located at 4556 Quince Road in Seneca, chiropractic physician Seth Wilson offers chiropractic services to Seneca and the surrounding areas. For appointment information, their phone number is 417-776-4556 or discover more at facebook.com/Prairie Top Chiropractic. Prairie Top Chiropractic, where their slogan is better health, better you.
College Field at Earl Campbell Stadium. Seneca trailing 14-0, 6:29 to go in the first half. And they've got the ball on the Mars 12-yard line, looking at a 3rd down and 8 after Coach Hilburn had to call a timeout as they didn't have the play in there in plenty of time to break the huddle.
And I think here, try and get half the yardage at least. You're more than likely go for it on 4th down, so I'm trying to make it 4th and manageable. Maybe it looked like you got one-on-one coverage with Ackerson, but you got to be sure against him. So maybe you go one-on-one, but we'll see.
2 receivers split out to the far side. Hoover's going to look to throw. Once again, he's got Ackerson open. Ackerson's going to break the tackle into the end zone, and
touchdown.
Got the wig. There's the signal. Touchdown, Seneca Indians. Touchdown, Connor Ackerson as he hauls it in. Beats his defender and makes it into the end zone. Excellent pass, excellent catch, excellent run for Ackerson. On to attempt the PAT for the Indians as Barwick is the snapper, Klaus the holder, Miller the kicker. Good snap, good hold. Kick's going to go up, and it looks like it snuck through, and it did. 6:22 to go in this first half. Seneca trails 7-14 on the KNEO and Seneca Indian Sports Network.
Crowder College, your future, our focus. At Crowder College, we have 6 convenient locations in Southwest Missouri and online programs to fit your needs. Flexible scheduling provides a pathway to a career or the opportunity to transfer to a 4-year university in a variety of programs. Cheer for the Rough Riders at athletic events. Use the Missouri A+ Scholarship Program for free tuition and common fees. At Crowder College, your future is our focus. Apply today at crowder.edu.
Dairy Queen Grill and Chill in Seneca is the place to go before or after the game. Check out their amazing menu of blizzards, including Snickers Brownie, Berry Cherry Chip, Reese's Take 5, and the Oreo Hot Cocoa Blizzard. Don't forget to grab one of their $6 or $7 meal deals or their new signature stack burger. The Dairy Queen Grill and Chill in Seneca, located at 308 Washington, open daily from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Proud to support the Seneca Indians.
Welcome back to Seneca, Missouri. Seneca trails 14-7 to Lamar Tigers. Axon with the excellent catch from 12 yards out. Beats his defender. As a good kick by Enoch Miller is going to have Wilkerson back on the 6-yard line. He's trying to elude the defender. Taking him down is Cedar Starchman on the kickoff team. Great play by Starchman to come up with that tackle on Wilkerson.
Everyone at the Neosho Daily News wish the Seneca Indians good luck. Let's go get that win. And now if you're Seneca, with 6:16 to go here in the half, you got to find a way to get a defensive stop, as I think we have a water break.
Water timeout. We'll step aside for 30 seconds. We come back. We'll have the conclusion of the second quarter here on the KNO and Seneca Indian Sports Network.
Jamie and Terry Langford with Langford Insurance at 910 Washington Avenue in Seneca, Missouri, are proud to serve our local communities and support local high school student athletes. Langford Insurance specializes in life, agribusiness, commercial, and personal insurance needs. Stop by and see them at their office, call them at 417-776-5433, or visit them online at www.midminsurance.com.
14-7 your score at Seneca, Missouri. Indians taking on the Tigers of Lamar. Sponsors for tonight's game, Newmac Electric, Traders Pharmacy, and Seneca Church of Christ, as well as Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
Hey, boys, that was huge for Seneca to get that touchdown. They ran Connor Robinson to the inside, then threw it to the outside. He wasn't to be denied, broke 2 tackles to get in.
Now you need a defensive stop here as you got the crowd all in it.
Lamar looks a little bit like Seneca's play offense right now as a handoff's going to go to Wilhite to the outside. Atkinson trying to set the edge. Hearn giving chase. And there's a penalty flag. No penalty flag, excuse me, as Wilhite's finally taken out of bounds by Olsen and Hearn. Atkinson taking on 2 blockers on the outside. Just unable to shed those guys to get to Wilhite. Wilhite running, having a lot of rushing yards tonight on the jet sweeps.
Yeah, like you said, Seneca usually does a good job of controlling the edge. So far tonight, they've done a good job. That one, they were just outmanned going to that outside.
Receivers to each side. Now Wilhite's going to join Googie on the near side. Now they're going to go quads on this near side. One receiver to the far side. It's going to be Bishore just getting behind his lineman and come up to make the tackle. Ball's on the ground, and Blake Hearn's going to pick it up. Recovered by the Indians. Coming up to make the play for Seneca, Jackson Mars knocking it free on Bishore, and Blake Hearn jumps on it at the 42-yard line.
And we talk about it all the time. This Seneca team has been opportunistic all year round. And right now you got all kinds of momentum. Now you have to be able to score here, and if you score, you can tie the game, try and take out the remaining 6 minutes. Guess what? You get the ball to start the second half as well. But the momentum is all with Seneca at this point, as last score by Seneca was the first time Lamar had given up points all year.
Going to send Altick in motion. Handoff's going to go to Altick. Altick trying to get blockers out in front. He's at the 40-yard line, makes a cutback, still dancing around down inside the 35 to the 33. Good run by Altick on the first down jet sweep.
Did a nice job of not holding there on the edge. You saw him coming around. Those edge guys have to let go and make sure that they're not holding on the play. But now Seneca's starting to get those chunk yardage that Lamar was able to get in the first quarter.
2nd down and 1 for the Indians. Do you take a shot here for the end zone on 2nd down or short, or you just keep churning away?
Take a shot because you got 3rd down.
Hoover looking over Lamar's defense. It's going to be a handoff to Mars. It's a play action. He's looking for the home run ball. Hearn's got his guys beat and need to put it out there just a little too far as it was one-on-one coverage.
And we called it. You do take the shot there because it's 3rd down and inches. You got 2 downs to try and get the 1st down. You're going to say to your offensive line, we need, a foot to a yard. If you can't get a foot or a yard, you don't deserve to have the football.
Trust me, Hoover wants that pass back.
He knew he had it too.
Oh, he wants that pass back, I'll guarantee you.
Hearn very quick on the outside. I think Googie was looking inside to the play action. Great job by Hoover to sell that fake as well. Shotgun formation. Hoover's going to run to the right side. He's going to lower his shoulder, get behind his lineman to the 29.5-yard line. First down for the Indians on the run.
Like we said, you take that shot on second down because you have third down, and you're going to challenge your offensive line to be able to get that push, and they were able to get that push. We haven't seen Jack Mars get as many big carries, but Gavin Hoover has been able to get some chunk plays because they're focusing so much of their time here on Jack.
Receivers to each side for Hoover. Going to send Altick in motion. And it's going to be a handoff to Mars to the right side. He's got a little bit of opening. Jumps out to the 25, still on his feet, lowering his shoulder down to the 20-yard line. Big gain for the junior running back of 9 yards.
Like we said, now you're getting those chunk plays. And
Hey,
second down and 1.
Good job by the offensive line there, opening up that hole. Trust me, these boys, you got to understand the Seneca line, they're going both ways. They've been out there on the field all night.
4:20 to go in the first half. Seneca trailing 14-7. Ball on the 20-yard line of the Tigers. Hearn split on the near side. Ackerson to the far side. And it's going to be a handoff to Mars. No, Hoover's going to keep it right up the middle. Makes a man miss. Now he's going to be hit hard. Coming up, Alex Wilkerson on the tackle. Hoover pops right off the turf and says, let's go again.
Now, first down on the play there for the Indians. And like we said, sometimes you need to take advantage of field position and turnovers. Lamar was able to take advantage of field position one time. We'll see if Seneca can take advantage of the turnover.
First down and 10 for Coach Hilburn and his Indian offense. Ackerson split on the near side. Ginger and Olsen to the far side. Vaughn going to switch sides. He was on the right, now he's on the left. Mars is on the right of Hoover. That's going to be an option play to the near side. It's going to be a pitch to Mars. Mars got blockers set up in front of him. He gets hit hard. Still on his feet into the end zone. Touchdown, Seneca Indians. Jackson Mars absorbs the shock from Austin Wilkerson at the 9-yard line and reaches the end zone. Indians are within 1 point.
Hey, Beshore and Wilkerson hit him at the 10-yard line. Jackson Mars just ran through the middle of it. Said, not tonight, boys. I'm scoring.
And, Coach, you had a front row seat to that one as it happened right in front of you.
Oh, I could have helped on the tackle on that one, but I decided not to.
Good snap, good hold. Kick is going to be up, and it hits the upright, and off the upright it goes. 14-13 your score, 3:33 to go in the first half. Here on the KNEO and Seneca Indian Sports Network.
The all-new Roper Kia 4-State Sports Report will provide in-depth coverage of all your favorite local teams, plus scores and highlights every night. The Roper Kia 4-State Sports Report is dedicated to offering more resources, more content, and more stories, all local every night. Only with the all-new Roper Kia 4-State Sports Report.
Goes off the upright after the forced fumble by Jackson Mars on defense. Hearn covering it up, and Seneca drives 42 yards in 2 minutes 30 seconds, capped off by the 17-yard bruiser of a run by Jackson Mars.
Almost reminds you a little bit of his run last year against Cole Martin, able to lower his shoulder and bounce off of people.
Enoch Miller's got this ball teed up the 40-yard line. Back deep to receive Alex Wilkerson, as it's a little bit of a knuckleball. Wilkerson in the field at the 11-yard line. He's got a hole to the right. And coming up to make the stop is Blaine Fritchie. Good hit by Blaine Fritchie as Wilkerson's a little bit slow coming off the ground. A big hit by the sophomore on the kickoff team.
Turner Performance in Seneca is a proud supporter of Seneca Athletics. They offer sales, have a service center for ATVs, side-by-side mowers, and more. Open Tuesday to Friday, 9 to 5, and Saturdays till noon. For more information, 417-776-5928. Turner Performance at 1604 Cherokee Avenue in downtown Seneca. Hopefully for Seneca, that missed extra point doesn't come back to bite you at some point.
First down and 10 for Lamar. 2-quarterback system in once again. Wilkerson got his hands on his hip as he took a shot from Fritchie. Beshore's going to spin. He's going to take it to the right side off tackle. And he's going to get about 4 or 5 yards on the carry. Morgan Vaughn, Renfro in there, Mars in there. As Beshore is going to get about to the 37-yard line, pick up a 4, second down and 6.
I know our man coverage better not fall asleep right here. Play action pass over the top. I think they're going to have to throw it if they're going to.
You're exactly right, Coach. They have not thrown a whole lot of attempts, a whole lot of balls in the air tonight, as a two-quarterback system can kind of lull you to sleep. Either one of those guys can throw. Wilkerson's going to give it on the end around to Wilhite. Wilhite's going to be stopped after a gain of a few. I believe that's Vaughn on the outside with the stop after a gain of only 3. 3rd down and 3.
Big 3rd down play here. You were able to change some momentum by forcing a fumble. Can you force in 3 and out now? As Seneca trying to get the fans involved here, get the noise going. As they got 15 on the play clock.
They do all that dipsy-do in the backfield. You better be ready for something over the top.
2 receivers on the near side. B. Shores is going to hand it off to Wilkerson to the right side. He's got a little bit of an opening. He gets tripped up by Hearn coming up to fill that gap, and Wilkerson able to keep his feet enough to get enough for the 1st down. He just falling forward to the 46.
Rumbling, stumbling, bumbling all the way. Needed, 3 and got 4?
Chris Berman here tonight, folks, as he comes in.
Lamar's kind of acting like, they're kind of stumbling around right now. They're acting like they just got hit in the mouth, and this is the first time this year they've done it. Anybody's done it to them.
Under 2 to go in the first half. 2 wing backs for B-Shore. Empty set. Now he's got 2 guys in motion. That should be a penalty. And that's going to be reset.
And I think they call timeout.
Oh, you can set. You just can't snap it with 2 in the
Right. Exactly right. We're going to keep it right here. Sponsors for tonight's game, Campbell Biddlecombe Funeral Home, the Big Nickel, Missouri Southern State University, and Marine Center Incorporated. Looking so far, B-Shore has been the heavy workload back tonight. The quarterback is the heavy workload back. 9 carries, 34 yards in this first half of play.
Hilburn talking to a couple of the officials about what you were talking about, Coach, in that play where they were both shifting.
As long as you didn't snap the ball, you're okay. You can get up, reset. And that's coming back to the last week against Cassville. Cassville had 2 guys go in motion. One guy was uncertain if he was supposed to go in motion, and he never did technically get completely set, so he had a chance to kind of regroup, but then the right tackle actually did jump on that play.
1:46 to go here until we hit halftime. If you're Seneca, you got to find a way to keep them out of the end zone. I think you would even take a field goal attempt here. Obviously, you want no points, but I think at worst case scenario, I think you want to give up 3 and 3 only.
Yeah, you can give ground, just don't give up the big play.
I'll take on man-to-man on Googie on the outside. Inside handoff is going to be to Wilkerson. He's going to be strung out by the Seneca defense. He's going to lower his shoulder. I believe that's out there on the edge is Ackerson. Mars there as well. Wilkerson only able to get about a yard to the 47-yard line. Good job by the Seneca defense. That play was a little bit slow developing too.
Makes you wonder here, 1:25 and counting here. Both teams 2 timeouts. It almost looks like this Lamar team is just hoping to get to halftime.
Ben, just wait till you better have your eyes open.
2 wing backs, 2 receivers each side. B-Shore is going to look to throw, gives a pump fake. Now he's got pressure in his face, going to scramble. He's got room to run on the outside, but coming up to make the play is Lincoln Renfro, the senior linebacker. All-Stater says no way.
And somebody called the timeout. It looks like Lamar did.
We'll step aside for 30 seconds. Be back after this 30-second break.
Are you tired of playing roofing roulette with your home repairs? Tired of A-plus promises and grade school work? When it comes time to choose who is on your team, do you really know much about the other roofers? With Roofmasters, our professional team of licensed, bonded, and insured craftsmen will ensure that it's done right. Beginning to end, we'll make sure to take care of your property. Those other companies? Well, that could be a disaster. Whether it's a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, there's only one place to call.
Roofmasters! Roofmasters Remodeling.
Here for the Lamar Tigers. Interesting play call here. If you're Seneca, you got 2 timeouts. You don't want anything to go over the top and let them get a first down. I think if they get a first down, they go hurry up mode. I think if they don't get enough yards to really think about it, then they may try and slow things down to see if Seneca takes the timeout.
2 receivers on the near side, 1 to the far side. B-Shore is going to look to throw, looking for the quick hitter. That's going to be incomplete as Wheeler comes up big. The hit on the Googie, but Googie didn't have a chance to catch that ball.
Yeah, if he had looked for the football, I think he had almost as good a chance at getting it as did Googie for Lamar. As 4th down now and the clock stops, so Seneca has a chance to get the ball back and try and score here before the half.
Make sure they punt it. Make sure they punt it. Make sure. And touch it back here. Axon doesn't have to do anything.
Wilkerson is the punter. Alex Wilkerson, he can pass. Terrell Davis going to come in tight as the up back. It's going to be a low snap. Bobba by Wilkerson. Wilkerson just going to barely get that one off, and the Indians have to jump out of the way of it. And it's going to take a Tiger roll inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. Seneca will take over first down and 10 with 49 seconds to go.
You got 49 seconds and 2 timeouts, and you have all the momentum in the world. Do you take a shot on first down here?
Let's go to the coach. What's he say?
Yeah.
Coach, what do you got? Do you take a shot on first down here 49 seconds before the half?
2 timeouts, too.
Well, let me tell you something. If you're going to take a shot, it's down the field over the middle. If you try to take a shot on the outside, bad things can happen. You get picked off. Pick six, exactly. If you're going to do anything at all, I'd just go to halftime. What I'd be doing.
2 receivers to the far side. Olsen to the near side. Hoover's going to look to throw, and he's going to take off to run to the left side. He's going to be brought down from behind by number 60, Ryan Davis.
And that may decide what Seneca wants to do here. They will have to snap it one more time, but you may see them go to halftime with the way that play call was. It's conservative in the fact that on the drop play, if Hoover's able to break it and get a first down, maybe you then go hurry up. But I think at this point they're just happy to only be down 1 going into halftime, especially after starting off 14-0 down.
Victory formation for the Indians, so they will be just taking a knee in the half. And Hoover kneels down. That'll do it for the first half of play. Your score 13-14 in favor of the Tigers. We'll have the halftime show for you right after this.
What is the toughest word and the most difficult word that young people have to learn to pronounce? It's the word N-O, no.
When you think about it, regardless of your age, that could be true for anyone, especially someone facing temptation. So what's the answer? Well, here's some advice from Billy Graham.
Now, you cannot face this temptation alone. It's too strong. The marks of a Christian are self-control and self-discipline. Yes, we can control ourselves, but we need God's help.
Learn how God can help you say no to temptation by staying grounded in His Word and deepening your relationship with Jesus Christ. Check out our website, findpeacewithgod.net. That's findpeacewithgod.net. We're the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association.
Welcome to the KNEO Sports Network Halftime Show. Once again, here's Ben Walcott.
And we welcome you back to Tom Hodge Field here at Earl Campbell Stadium in Seneca as we're here at the halftime show brought to you by Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and Prairie Top Chiropractic. Coming up at the half, I'll chat with cross-country coach David Glazer as part of our Indians Minute. Adam Winkler will have an interview with Jen Lallemand as part of our Freeman Health Minute. You're listening to Seneca Indian Football here on the KNEO and Seneca Indian Sports Network.
If you're a weekend warrior who likes to go, don't let pain put the brakes on your pace. When you need help with an injury that keeps you from moving, you want an orthopedic team with a proven track record. Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is nationally recognized and were recently named CareCheck's #1 hospital in the market and top 10% hospital in the state for hip fracture repair. Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, the experience you need to keep pace with life.
A nonprofit organization, a sponsor of high school sports.
The Indians Minute is sponsored by Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, the official sports medicine provider of the Seneca Indians.
Welcome to today's edition of the Indians Minute here on KNEO. I'm Ben Walcott. Today I'm joined by the cross-country coach of Seneca High School, David Glazer. And David, thanks for being with us. And cross-country has already started, and both your boys and girls have already got off to a fast start with meets already, a couple meets under their belts. What kind of are your goals and expectations for this year for both your girls and your boys, especially first year in Seneca?
Well, my goal for this year are really push a culture that I want to essentially positivity and to
really accentuate the commitment that you need to do for running itself, because running itself is a year-round sport. So in cross-country is a good leeway into track in the spring, but also cross-country is more of a lifetime sport, and so I kind of want to establish those aspects of the sport itself.
And cross-country, unlike most other sports, is an individual sport, but at the same part, you are a part of a team. So kind of what are your goals for your teams this year? You're both the girls and the boys cross-country coach, so why don't you tell us kind of your expectations for the girls and then the expectation for the boys as well?
Well, being this is my first year, my goals are really to kind of learn the kids and kind of look at what John Wydick left for me, which he committed 15 years to the program. So, I thank him for kind of handing me off a great course, a great model to follow. But the bottom line is for the team, some of the goals I have is that, you go out there and you compete, one, and two, you really just are helping each other out, because this is not an easy sport. Nobody wants to go out and run 5,000 meters by themselves, and running kind of has that stigma of, this is this is not something we like to do for the general population. But there's a select group of kids out there that are out there trying to make themselves better, and my kids, I'm trying to give them that, and my expectations are that we support each other as we go through this long season all the way through late October, early November.
And you do have some meets scheduled. Kind of for those that aren't necessarily used to cross country, what's the difference between having a cross country meet and then just facing those individual teams?
Well, Southwest Missouri is a hotbed for cross country within the state when it comes to state competitions. I mean, you've got Webb City up north of us, who has a very strong team. They have a very deep team. And then you have to the east of us, you have West Plains, which are traditional powerhouses, Class 4 competition. And then you've got College Heights real close to us that are in the lower class than us. So overall, I mean, the meets that we've had a Neosho practice meet, and then we had a meet over in Aurora for the Hot Dog Invitational right before Labor Day weekend. And then we just hosted our home meet this past Thursday. So, kind of going on home turf and kind of having 32 teams in total there made it really very ambitious for the kids to kind of see this. And some of these kids have never experienced cross country, so trying to rip off the Band-Aid but do it nicely is kind of my model. But coming up, I mean, today we're heading to Monette, which is named after my high school cross-country coach, Whitey Metlock, over in Monette. And then throughout the season, we're going to go to Nixa. We're going to go to Chili Pepper down in Fayetteville. And I want them to see a plethora of cross-country, and I think Chili Pepper is going to be a good measuring stick for them when they line up with 500, 600, 700 other runners from both Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas, and Missouri.
Definitely an exciting time. You talked about you've had 2 or 3 meets under your belt. Kind of as the season progresses, I'm sure your expectations change. So as you get into these next couple of meets, kind of what are you hoping for from your boys and your girls compared to maybe what you were hoping to see the first couple of meets?
Well, as the season progresses, the kids get a firmer grip of what the workouts are doing for them. And I'm a big fan of teaching the kids to run faster. And, that's learning yourself as an individual. And this is a semi-individual sport and a semi-team sport based on how you do in that particular meet. I really just hope that they give a firmer grasp of, okay, so if we're doing this workout during the week, this is what it's going to help me a couple of weeks down the road. And as we get closer to conference as well as districts and, the possibility of maybe taking somebody to state, we really just want to kind of have the opportunity to compete our best at the very end of the season. This early part of the season, I'm just trying to get them to where they feel comfortable with me, as well as comfortable with the training, and then just take it one step at a time and one meet at a time and kind of improve on what they may have done last year.
Well, David, we want to thank you so much for your time here today on the Indians Minute, and we'll try and catch up with you a couple more times throughout the cross-country season as we get headed towards that district and that state tournament.
All right. Well, thank you very much and appreciate your time.
Thank you for listening to the Indians Minute, sponsored by Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, the official sports medicine provider of the Seneca Indians.
The Seneca R7 School District is proud to support the student athletes and coaches competing in this game. High school activities help students learn life values such as hard work, dedication, and teamwork. The Seneca R7 School District is honored to serve such a great community and wants to thank all the Indian fans for their great support. The Seneca R7 School District. Tradition, pride, class.
It's time for the Freeman Sports Health Minute. The Freeman Sports Team is proud to serve as the official sports medicine provider for over 20 area high schools and colleges.
Welcome to another Health Minute here on KNEO. We're joined by Jen Lolleman with Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Today's conversation, what is the ACL and what happens when you tear it?
The ACL is the anterior cruciate ligament in the knee. It's one of 4 major ligaments in the knee. It actually provides stability to the knee rotationally, and it connects the femur to the tibia. So when you tear that ACL, the stability in the knee goes. It causes a shifting where that tibia can come forward on that femur, especially with stop and go activity.
You know, a lot of people are devastated when they hear, I tore my ACL, and they think of all the rehab and everything that's involved with it. What's rehab time for something like that, and how has technology advanced to help get athletes back on the field in better shape than they were before?
Rehab time is usually 6 to 9 months, depending on the severity and if there's anything going on besides just the ACL tear. The advances are the surgery. The surgery's gotten a lot better in the last 20 years for a faster recovery time to get moving again. It used to be where the athlete would be non-weight bearing for a couple weeks. Now they're walking the next day, and they can do a hamstring graft versus a patellar tendon graft, which is an easier recovery time as well.
For the Freeman Sports Health Minute, I'm Adam Winkler.
Thank you for listening to the KNEO Sports Network Halftime Show. The teams are headed back out on the field. Seth Wilson and Ben Walcott are ready to go in the broadcast booth, and Daryl Harbaugh is returning to the sideline. The third quarter is almost here. Back with more Indians football after this on the KNEO and Seneca Indians Sports Network.
Seneca Indian Athletics is sponsored by Prairie Top Chiropractic. Located at 4556 Quince Road in Seneca, chiropractic physician Seth Wilson offers chiropractic services to Seneca and the surrounding areas. For appointment information, their phone number is 417-776-4556 or discover more at facebook.com/Prairie Top Chiropractic. Prairie Top Chiropractic, where their slogan is Better Health, Better You.
A question from Billy Graham.
Is there such a relationship with Jesus Christ and a knowledge that if you died at this moment you would go to heaven?
What is your answer?
You say, well, Billy, I'm a member of the church. I've been confirmed. I take all the sacraments, so I've obeyed all the ordinances of my church. I've tried to do my best. But really, down deep in your heart, you haven't really experienced Christ in total commitment. He may be your Savior, but He hasn't yet become your Lord. Because Lord and Savior must go together. The Lord Jesus Christ. Lord means King. He's on the throne of your life, in every area of your life.
We'd like to help you make Jesus both the Lord and Savior of your life. Stop by our website, findpeacewithgod.net. That's findpeacewithgod.net. We're the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association.
Welcome back. We're at the half in Seneca, Missouri. Seneca trailing 13-14 to the Lamar Tigers. Halftime show sponsors, Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, and Prairie Top Chiropractic. Looking over stats from the first half, Gavin Hoover, 4 of 7 through the air, 35 yards, all 4 receptions to Connor Ackerson. Of course, Ackerson has a receiving touchdown. On the ground tonight for the Indians, Hoover with 7 rushing attempts for 17 yards. Mars, 8 rushing attempts for 57 yards. Altick, 1 for 9 yards. Olsen had 1 rushing attempt. And for Lamar, let me get that pulled up for you. Joel Beshore, 2 of 3 for 13 yards. On the ground, Googie, 2 rushing attempts, 4 yards. Wilhite, 2 rushing attempts for 15 yards. Beshore has 9 rushing attempts for 31 yards. Austin Wilkerson has 5 rushing attempts for 22 yards. Alex Wilkerson, 2 for 13. Googie, 1 reception for 9 yards. Wilhite, 1 reception for 4 yards. Overall, For Lamar, in actual offensive statistics, 98 yards on the ground, 85 through the air, 85 on the ground, 13 through the air. And for the Indians, 83 yards on the ground, 35 through the air. So a pretty evenly matched offensive output, defensive output, whatever you want to say, for that first half between these two teams. Seneca finds themselves down only 1 point as the kick from Miller went off the upright.
Yeah, I think this is basically what everybody expected between a number 1 team in the state and a number 5 team in the state. I think for Seneca, they got punched in the mouth, but they were able to answer the bell when it mattered most. We talked about you need to be able to take advantage of field position and turnovers. Seneca, their first drive, got backed up. Guess what? The Tigers start the next drive at the 45-yard line of Seneca, go in and score. Next thing you know, it's 14-0. Seneca does a good job answering, going, scoring a touchdown. Lamar's next drive, they fumble the football. Seneca is able to answer the call and get it within 1. So I think it's about as evenly matched as you think it would, and I think we're in for a whale of a second half.
You come back to that first drive by Lamar, 11 plays, 64 yards, 5 minutes taken off the clock. It wasn't like they had a big hitter. It was just one of those long drives that seemed kind of take forever. And you look at Seneca, their first offensive series, first down and 10, holding penalty, which Coach Harbaugh is very emphatic there was not a holding penalty on that play. So you got first down and 19, illegal procedure. Pushes them back 5 more yards. So then you have first down and 24. They get an 8-yard passing completion to Ackerson. So you have second down and 16, illegal shift. Now you got second down and 21, and nothing seemed to be really going right. You could see the Lamar fans feeding off that energy, that negative energy, I guess, that Seneca had on their first opening possession. And Seneca was like, all right, we've got to get something figured out here. They kind of got their nerves calmed down a little bit, I believe. And then Lamar is able to score in the short field, like you mentioned, Ben, from 39 yards out, even though there was a couple illegal procedure penalties mixed in there. Wilkerson comes in with a 17-yard touchdown run to make it 14-0. Then Seneca gets the ball back right before the end of the first quarter. 14 plays, 65 yards, 6 minutes, 20 seconds off the clock, capped off by the Connor Ackerson. Big catch. Had the ball at about the 8, caught the ball at about the 7-6-yard line. Turn around, had his receiver right at his heels, broke that tackle, and had a free pass to the end zone to make it 7-14, the Indians are on the board.
If I remember correctly, wasn't that a 4th down play too? It was a 3rd down play, but it was a big play regardless because he was right at the sticks, and it's one-on-one out there. We talked about at that situation where I said when I saw it, it was one-on-one between Ackerson and Beshore. I didn't know if he wanted a jump ball. It wasn't a jump ball. It was more a line drive, but he did a good job of faking Beshore out and able to get in the end zone, and that was a big 6 for the Indians.
If he caught that ball right there and got tackled on the spot, it'd been 4th down and about 3 or 4 to go for the Indians. They had to get the ball down to the 4-yard line. Kickoff, Lamar takes the ball, second play on that drive. Jackson Mars comes up big, puts his hat on the ball as Beshore is running up the middle, causes the fumble. Blake Hearn jumps on top of it. Seneca sets up shop. First down and 10 from their own 42-yard line. 6 plays, 42 yards later. 2 minutes, 30 seconds off the clock. Jackson Mars with a big 17-yard touchdown run for the Indians to make it a 13-14 ball game. Such an exciting first half. Maybe not the way you want to start off the Indians. If you go back to that now, hey, the Indians are able to do something that first drive. They're up, 6-7 points at this point. Different ball game.
And the big thing that we talked about all last year is Cody does an excellent job of making adjustments, and his coaching staff. It's not just Cody, but the entire coaching staff does an excellent job of making adjustments on the fly. You think about what happened those first 2 drives, how Lamar was just able to go down, drive, and be able to get a couple touchdowns. Seneca switched a couple things up there on those last couple of drives. They were able to force a fumble, and on top of it, I think the biggest thing for the Indians was they were able to get the crowd back involved. You think about after those first 2 touchdown drives, you and I even mentioned it, it was kind of quiet in here. Once they scored that first touchdown drive, it got the fans back up. Obviously, that second one, it got them riled up. They're calm now, but you can bet once halftime is over that they're going to be roaring ready to go.
A lot of times after you have your youth night to start the game, a lot of fans leave at halftime or before halftime to go ahead and put their kids to sleep. That's not the case tonight. Big football game at Tom Hodge Field at Earl Campbell Stadium. The fans are sticking around to see the conclusion of this one as we have 24 minutes left to play, a 13-14 ball game. and it doesn't get much better than this on Friday night.
No, this is what high school football is all about, especially small town high school football. Got both communities out here. Both communities think they have a shot at a state title. Lamar has been there many, many times, proven it year in and year out. Seneca is kind of the upcomer and trying to prove it themselves this year and get back to where that they used to be back in the glory years, way back in like 95, 96. You think about 2013, even last year. They're just trying to build momentum off of what that class did last year that got them to the state quarters. But guess what? They want to get farther. They want to get to that state title game, which would be on a Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock.
And Coach Harbaugh in the pregame show said defense wins championships, offense wins games, defense wins championships. And tonight it's going to be interesting to see how the Seneca defense comes out to respond. They did force Lamar to punt on Lamar's last possession, force the fumble. So in the last two possessions, they've got some things clicking for them defensively. Now we see if that can carry over into the second half, and they can do some big things.
Big question here to start the second half is, if you're Lamar, because you're kicking off, do you try and change momentum a little bit by going for an onside kick? That would be an interesting call, because right now Seneca has this Lamar team on their heels. Do you try and switch the momentum somehow, or do you trust your defense?
I think at this point, if you're Lamar, trust your defense. I mean, that's what's got you to, 6, 7, 8 state championships in the last 10, 15 years. That's what got you the state championship game last year, was your defense. Unfortunately, it came up a little bit short for Lamar fans on that state championship game, just by one play, basically. And so if you're Coach Bishore, you just got to say, this is what works. This is a football game. This is a dogfight. Yeah. This is what we're in for. Let's just go for it, and let's see what we have.
I think both teams expected coming into the game that it would be a dogfight throughout the game. It started off 14-0. Maybe Lamar fans started thinking, well, maybe this is the same old Seneca team, but we'll see what happens here in the second half.
Right now, I don't think there's anybody that's left this place. I mean, them last two touchdowns Seneca scored has got this place rocking right now. And you can play two up. You want to play up, but you can go two up, and then all of a sudden something happened and go two that far down. But one thing more than anything, and it's been mentioned to me that, and we said it before, our kids have never played in this kind of situation. Lamar's played in some big games, and I know we won district last year, went on, but I'm not sure we played in this pack of house.
No, that Mexico game on a Saturday afternoon was a very, very full Mexico, a very good team, obviously, but it was a very packed house that night, and Lamar's used to these games. This is just business as usual for them. And it is a good game. It should be an up game for us, but Coach Hilburn wants to get this program to where that's the expectation on Friday nights. You're playing for a district championship, or you're playing for a quarterfinal, or you're playing for a semifinal, or you're playing, we're going to get to the state championship year in and year out, and that's where Coach Hilburn wants to take his program to in the near future.
Couple other interesting scores at the half. Mack County has a 14-6 lead over Nevada. That game at halftime. Another interesting score, especially when it comes to Seneca. Logan Rogersville, the only update I have is from the first quarter, but they had a 13-0 lead over Mount Vernon. So you think about it, Nevada, Big 8 West, Mount Vernon in the same district. Both those scores are kind of going your way if you're Seneca. You hope Logan Rogersville is able to hang on, and then if you're able to win, you probably jump Mount Vernon. But obviously a lot of football to be played. I know it's an 8-point lead right now for Mount Vernon, and they still got a couple tough games. Mount Vernon's got to host Nevada next week. If Nevada can't win, then you're looking at a situation where Nevada would be mad going into that game too. So a lot of football to be played around the four-state area and the Big 8 conference as well.
Yeah, exciting night here. We're going to take about a 60-second break. We come back, we'll have the second half action for you. Halftime show sponsors, Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, and Prairie Top Chiropractic.
He's going to catch this one.
Welcome back at the half in Seneca, Missouri. Seneca trailing 13-14, and they put that extra 3 minutes on the clock. Both teams kind of had to stick around their huddles as they got warmed up quickly.
Yeah, I think both teams, sorry to interrupt, both teams, just like the beginning of the game, they were both rip-rearing, ready to go. A lot on the line here in the second half for both teams.
Coach Harbaugh talked about just a second ago, playing 2 up. You get 2 up. Seneca was up that first possession they had. That's why I think you saw a multitude of penalties against them.
3 flags there, and I think in the first 3 games combined, they may have had 3 flags.
Wilhite's got about 20 seconds he's got to let run off the game clock as they have not wound the clock yet.
I'll see if they... Well, you can't.
Haven't had that.
There we go. I was going to say, you can't do that when you got 10 seconds on the clock.
Time left on the clock.
Yeah.
Halftime show sponsors for you once again, Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and Prairie Top Chiropractic. Ty Wilhite's got this ball teed up at the middle of the 40-yard line.
Big possession here to start the second half for the Indians.
Mars and Altick standing about the 15-yard line. End over and kick. That's going to make Mars feel to add about his 15. He gives a little time, lets his blocker sit up in front, makes a man miss. Still on his feet. Alex Wilkerson going to come up with a big hit on Mars. Mars able to get to the 28-yard line.
Big thing for the Indians here is they've kind of had to drive the football. They haven't really had those big plays. I think Mars, that 17-yard touchdown run, might be the biggest play they've had all evening. At least I think it was 17, somewhere around there.
Yeah, Mars has runs of 17, and his first run was of 16 yards, and that's the biggest place from scrimmage for the Indians tonight.
So both defenses making you have to slog down the field, see if you can take advantage.
Receivers to each side for Hoover. Vaughn split out a little bit wider in his H-split. It's going to be an option play. It's going to be a quick pitch to Mars. He's got defenders right in his face, and he's going to lose yardage on that play. Maybe one of those he needs to get further upfield, make the defense commit before he pitches that to Mars.
Yeah, that one Hoover, from the very get-go, had decided he was pitching the football.
And that may have just been a quick pitch as well, where it's, okay, we're going to look like it's going to be an option play. It's just basically a design quick pitch.
Hey, those guys set wide. Let me tell you something. They set wide because they're trying to stop. They're trying to stop Mars on the outside. They're relying on those big boys up front and them 2 middle linebackers to stop anything on the inside.
Trips to the far side this time for the Indians. Vaughn on the near side. One man over the top. That's Austin Wilkerson. High snap. Hoover's going to look to throw. Looking back downfield. He's got Altick open. And ball's going to be incomplete as there was a little bit of contact. The Seneca faithful wanting the flag called.
Had 2 receivers in the same area, too, so I'm not sure if somebody ran a wrong route because normally you don't want 2 receivers in the same area.
Keaton Pagash on the coverage for Lamar.
I always talk about being able to face guard, but it did look like he had a hold of his jersey. But if you're Seneca, 3rd down and 12, it looks like got to find a way to get a first down, try and get some momentum here to start the second half.
Hoover looking over the defense. Good snap. He's going to fake it to Mars. He's going to have the out route to Action. Action hauls it in. He's going to be just shy of the yard to gain. He needed to get up to the 37, 38-yard line. And I think he's got it to 36.
So 4th down and 2 makes it an interesting call.
I think if you're Coach Hilburn, you just got to punt this ball away on the other side of your 40-yard on your own 40-yard line.
And we talk about field position here. Try and flip field position a little bit, as we're missing somebody on the line.
Fritchie got to hurry up out there. He's got plenty of time to run out there. And there's a timeout from Coach Hilburn.
You're missing a back and a lineman.
Still missing another guy on the punt team. We're going to keep it right here. Sponsors for tonight's game, Langford Insurance, Layer Heating and Air, First Community Bank, Missouri Farm Bureau Agent Josh Dotson, C4 Equipment Rental, and Timberline Tree Services.
Hoping that one doesn't come back to bite you later. You hate to use one of your first half, not as big a deal. Second half, you want to hold on to your timeouts and be able to use them in the crunch time. You don't want to use one 59 seconds into the second half.
Or let alone on a punt. That's one of those where you should have your punt guys should be ready to go. No down and distance at 3rd down and 12. We're not going to get 10 yards. Have your punt team ready. And those guys just weren't ready to go on that play. And I'm sure that's Coach Hilburn will address that. And back to Ackerson's catch. It was a great catch. He needs to get upfield a little bit further. Thought he only needed to get 10 yards. And he only got the 10 yards, but he needed to get 12. Good snap. Ackerson's going to get a good foot on this one.
Good boot.
Googie's going to let this one bounce in front of him. It takes a weird sideways bounce that's going to go to about the 28-yard line, 27-yard line, down by Jordan Allen. First down and 10. Lamar, 10:52 to go in this third quarter.
Make sure you stay tuned after tonight's game for the Final Drive Scoreboard Show, sponsored by Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Also, check out our live scoreboard during the game. Go to kneo.org/sports, click on the scoreboard link to get the latest scores from games around the area as they're happening. So Lamar holds on Seneca's first drive. If you're Seneca's defense, you have to answer and hold here.
And we didn't see Terrell Davis a lot in that first half, and now we see him come out in the second half. He's a big running receiver for them. Bishore's going to take it himself to the right side, lowers his shoulder. He's going to get a head of steam up across the 30 to the 31-yard line, and just to pick up a 4, second down and 6. Blake Hearn coming up from the safety position to fill the gap, but not before Bishore can get 4 yards.
We always talk about, 3 yards in a cloud of dust, and right now Lamar able to do that. They were able to do that their first couple of drives before Seneca was able to get a hold of them.
Handoff's going to go to Wilkerson to the inside. He's going to get to the right, still on his feet as he's fighting for more yardage. Good job by the Seneca defense to stand him up at the 35 to pick up a 4 and third down and 2.
More than likely a run play here. Can you find a way to string it out and stop them?
You got to find a way to stop them up the middle because they can gain 2 or 3 yards anytime they want to.
Sponsors for tonight's game: People's Bank of Seneca, Crowder College, Prelude Maintenance Center, and the Seneca School District. Just under 10 to go in the third quarter. Third down and 2 for Lamar from their own 35. Seneca defense in there with Stevens, Alexander, and Barwick.
Got to watch over the top because you got no safety help.
That's going to be Bishore taken to the right side. He had Alexander in his face, getting Shore's chases Vaughn. Bishore is going to dive forward for the first down. Vaughn had a chance for him in the backfield and just missed his feet. Bishore able to get about a foot more than what he needed to. Ball placed at the 38-yard line. So you had the third down play. Bishore gets the 3 yards for the first down. It's really more 2.5 as he's not quite to the 38-yard line. Googie split out on the near side. One receiver split on the 2 receivers split out to the far side. And he's going to look to pass. That ball's going to be caught by Googie, and Ethan Altick comes up and hits him as soon as he catches the ball. Now you got to watch out for the hitch and go too, because Altick was breaking quickly on the little hitch route. Now you got to be prepared for the hitch and go.
Yeah, he was breaking hard on that play. Did a good job of making sure there was no yards after catch, because if there was any yards after catch, he would have been gone because Altick was the last line of defense.
There was nobody behind Altick. You're right, Ben.
When you play man-to-man, that's what you do. That's what you give up. And that's the reason the safeties and the cornerbacks, they've got to stay solid tonight.
Going to send a man in motion. That's Alex Wilkerson. He's going to join his brother on the right side. Now he's going to send Will Hyatt in motion. Bishore's going to go to the left side. He's coming up to make the plays. Morgan Vaughn and Logan Barwick, as well as Nick Stevens. A gain of only 1 on the play.
Now you put them in a situation where they almost have to throw the football.
Ball just past the 42-yard line. A gain of 1.5 yards at best. Third down.
Got to watch that draw play as well, though, because Seneca did a good job when it was third down and about this length of getting a draw play. Bishore is a very good runner.
Got a lot of subs in right now trying to give that defensive line some rest.
2 receivers to the far side for Bishore. Going to send Will Hyatt in motion. And there's a penalty flag on the far side.
It's got to be a false start.
And a 5-yard penalty would do a lot of good for the Indians. A legal procedure against the Tigers. That's going to make it third down and 11.
You know, Lamar's in a spot they've never been this year. I mean, it's tight, packed house, crowd as well. I mean, they're nervous as well, just like we are. We're finding out we can still play, though.
Renfro in there, Ginger in there, Bigby in there, Alexander ready to go for defense for the Indians on this third down and a long 11 to go.
Sure like to see those D-ends and wide 9s and just go after him.
I was going to say, you can rush the quarterback, but you got to be careful because he is a running quarterback.
Empty set for Bishore, 2 wingbacks. He's going to look to pass. He's looking for the out route. He's got pressure in his face. He's unable to move. Morgan Vaughn comes up with a big hit, and the Indians take him down. First man there, Christopher Alexander. A big loss in the play. Back to the 29-yard line. A loss of 8 on the play, 4th down and 19.
Those defensive ends did exactly that. They pinned their ears back, but they made sure they didn't let the quarterback get by them. And now a big play there for the defense.
Yo, second punt of the year for him right here. Let's see if this one bounces.
Wilkerson has his guys ready. Going to send Davis in motion. Motion's going to go all the way across the field this time. The last time he stopped and came back. High snap over Wilkerson's head. Jackson Mars giving chase to it, and he's going to have the save. Ball's in the end zone. Ball's in the end zone. Covered by the Indians. Touchdown, Seneca Indians. Touchdown, Jackson Mars. As the botch snap on the punt goes into the end zone, Mars takes him down and then recovers the ball. The Indians score and have the lead.
What a play. We talk about the nerves of both teams, and a bad snap forces a turnover, and the Indians have their first lead of the night, and they are going for 2 to try and make this a 7-point lead at 21-14. They have not started the play clock, so they still have plenty of time. But all the momentum in favor of the Indians. They're now +2 in the turnover department.
It's amazing when you've got to do something and you haven't practiced it that much. Twice, 2 bad snaps in a row from their punt team.
Indians going to go for 2. Gavin Hoover in shotgun formation. Altick to the near side. Axton to the far side. Ginger looked like he jumped.
I was going to say he did. You could see him kind of leaning there a little bit. Makes you wonder if you still go for 2 now. Do you still go for 2? Because now instead of going for 2 from the 3, you're looking at the 8-yard line.
Hey, you say Jackson Mars recovered?
Yes, he did. Yes, Jackson Mars got on top of it. Yes.
What a momentum switch for the Indians.
Big play there. They botched the snap the first time they punted. It was a low snap. Wilkerson was able to corral it and just barely get the kick away. This time the snap goes over his head. And in that situation, do you just kick it out of the back of your end zone for a safety?
Yeah. Who cares about the penalty at that point?
It's going to be a fake handoff to Mars. He's looking for a man. That's going to be Ginger. Ginger goes up and hauls it in for the 2-point conversion. Hagen Ginger had his man one-on-one coverage, and he's able to go up and make the play. Seneca now leads 21-14 on the Seneca Indian Sports Network.
Prater's Pharmacy in Seneca is a proud supporter of the Seneca Indians. The pharmacy is open from 9 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and from 9 to 1 on Saturday. They offer an automatic refill program and internet refill service online at praterspharmacy.com and through their mobile apps. They also have a drive-through window. Prater's Pharmacy at 1711 Cherokee in Seneca, 417-776-8701. Go Indians.
Big Jackson Mars coming up big as he didn't give up on the punt and recovered a fumble in the end zone for a touchdown.
All kinds of momentum, and it's all in the favor of the Indians. Like we said, the crowd is not left all night long, and they're just getting more and more pumped up. This is 21 straight points for the Indians. They were down 14-0. Middle of the first quarter, they've come all the way back, and now they have a lead. Now it's time to see what Lamar is made of.
We know what Lamar is made of. Let's see what our defense is made of, see if they can come up with another big stop.
They forced a 3-and-out last time, and Miller's had a couple good kickoffs.
Wilkerson going to stay at this at his 10-yard line, trying to get something going for his team. He's going to get hit hard by Fritchie, and he's still not on the ground. Fritchie gets back.
Ball's loose.
And I believe...
Was the ball loose?
No, he had it the entire time.
Okay. They looked like they were jumping on something. I got excited down here. Sorry, boys.
Turner Performance in Seneca is a proud supporter of Seneca Athletics. They offer sales, have a service center for ATVs, side-by-side mowers, and more. Open Tuesday to Friday, 9 to 5, and Saturdays till noon. For more information, 417-776-5928. Turner Performance at 1604 Cherokee Avenue in downtown Seneca.
We're going to keep it right here. They have a water break, water timeout on the field, but we're going to keep it right here as the Indians' defense, just a huge play. Jackson Mars, I guess special teams is what you want to call that, a special teams touchdown in the unusual varieties.
Well, you think about special teams. Coach mentioned the fact that they haven't really been practicing special teams that much either, and that's 2 bad snaps for Lamar.
I know they practice them in practice. You're exactly right, Ben, but they don't practice them in this atmosphere, in this situation. They haven't been in this situation. So, like you said, special teams is huge.
And now you had a 3-and-out last time Lamar had the football. Can you force another 3-and-out? Or maybe it wasn't a 3-and-out, but it
only got one first down, but
yeah. The defense has tightened here for the Indians.
First down and 10 for the Tigers. Going to send the tight end in motion. He's on the near side now. They flip around on the defensive end position. Bishore's going to give a head fake to the left, going to the right side. He's got room to run. He's going to be given chase by Blake Hearn. Hearn's going to slow him down enough and take him out of bounds. A biggest run of the night for the Lamar Tigers. Has him inside Seneca territory. Stepped out of bounds at the 45-yard line, the biggest run.
Hearn did a good job of forcing him out of bounds because he was the last line of defense for the Indians.
They looked like they was kind of confused, wasn't lined up just right. And like you said, that's the kid right there. You got to stop right here.
33-yard pickup for Bishore on that carry. The biggest play of the game tonight. Biggest rush, I should say, on the game tonight. Now they're going to send the tight end in motion to the other side. He's going to get set over there. Bishore's going to hand it off, inside handoff to Wilkerson. He's going to lower his shoulder. Excuse me, that's going to be to number 14. That is Hahn, guy we haven't called, but once tonight.
Keep up on the latest Seneca broadcast ball game schedule. Be sure to like us on Facebook, facebook.com/KNEO Radio. Also on Twitter at KNEO917 Sports. You knew this Lamar team would try and answer because they've been in this position many times. It's a question of, can the Seneca defense find a way to hold?
Second down and 4. Pickup of 6 on Hahn for Hahn on the last play. They've been sending their wide receivers in motion. Now they're going to be sending their tight end. Now it's a pump and go route. Bishore's got pressure in his face once again, rolling out to the right side. Now he's just going to wisely throw the ball away. Live to see another set of downs. Good coverage downfield by the Seneca secondary.
And Seneca did not bite. I think Coach mentioned it. You know, you've seen the hitches. That one looked like a hitch and go route. And Seneca did a good job of not biting. Their cornerbacks did a good job of staying where they needed to be in coverage.
A couple new guys coming in trying to keep that line fresh.
Third down and 4. You got really the whole playbook open here for Lamar.
Yeah, they're in 2-down territory.
Third down and 4. 2 receivers to the far side for Lamar. Going to send a man in motion. Going to send another man in motion. That's Davis. Bishore going to take it to the right side. He's got an opening there, and he's going to have his feet wrapped up. I believe that is Alexander with the tackle, and he's going to be right at the first down. I think he's going to be just a smidge shy. We'll see where they place the ball. As he had to get to the 35, and I believe he's got it.
Yeah.
And just enough. First down and 10 for the Tigers at the Indians' 35-yard line.
You know, they're not messing around too much with the outside stuff right now. Everything's been up the middle.
Well, that's what was their success in the first 2 drives of the game, right up the middle for Bishore. I think he had 8 or 9 carries in the first 2 drives.
Faking one way, running the backside counter the other way.
2 receivers on the near side. And it's going to be a reverse play to Davis. Hearn's coming up to give chase and forces him out of bounds. Great read by Blake Hearn as he's got man coverage, and he's going to follow Davis wherever he goes. He did a good job to take him out of bounds.
Got a gain of 2 on the play, but that is more the fact that he had to go all the way across the field to tackle him.
So Davis had to run about 40 yards to get 2.
Well, there's the wide play they got to throw in every once in a while.
Keep you honest a little bit.
Exactly, but that up the middle is the one that's getting them. And they just set the reverse up just to see what it looked like on the backside. Our corners and safeties got to stay put.
5:16 to go in the third quarter. Seneca leading 21-14. Going to send a man in motion. That's going to be Hahn. He's going to join Wilkerson on the near side. Now they're going to send Wilhite in motion. Bishore's going to go to the right side. He's got an opening. He's going to be off to the races. Nobody's going to catch him. And there looked like there was a penalty flag as Mars got hit, but no penalty flag on the field. Touchdown as Joel Bishore takes it in from 33 yards out.
It's amazing what a team that has been here, how calm, cool, and collected they were. This place was going nuts, and they just methodically go down the field and score a touchdown.
6 plays on that drive, covering 78 yards. And just a minute 40 off the clock.
Calm, cool, and collected.
On to attempt the PAT for the Tigers, Jose Juarez. Good snap, good hold, kick is up, and it goes through the uprights. 5:09 to go in the third quarter. We're all knotted up at 21 here on the KNEO and Seneca Indian Sports Network.
C4 Equipment Rental, independently owned, serves 4 state contractors and homeowners with a fleet of big and small equipment and industry brands. Need dirt work, pond construction, or clearing with debris cleanup? They can do it. Located off I-49 at Anderson, Missouri, open Monday through Friday 7 to 5:30 and Saturday 7 to noon. On Facebook or online at c4equipmentrental.com or 417-436-3800. C4 Equipment Rental, a proud sponsor of local high school sports.
Quarter score 21-21. Seneca Indian football sponsored tonight by Southwest Missouri Banks, Neosho Daily News, Doug's Body Works, Prairie Top Chiropractic, Roof Masters Remodeling, Dairy Queen of Seneca, Gas and Snack, Turner Performance, and KSN and KODE.
If you're Seneca here, can you answer the answer? Because you had all the momentum. Now Lamar has a little bit of momentum. Are you able to take that momentum back?
Well, they weren't going to go away. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Two big 33-yard runs by Beshore in their last possession, and our last one was a 33-yard touchdown run. End over end kick to Mars to the 15-yard line. He's going to set up his blockers, and he's going to get hit at the 24-yard line. Stood up and taken down. And now the Lamar faithful joins in the loud cheering as this game has heated up in intensity quite a bit.
Everyone at the Neosho Daily News wish the Seneca Indians good luck. Let's go get that win. Keep up on the latest Seneca broadcast ball game schedule. Be sure to like us on Facebook, facebook.com/KNEO Radio. Follow us on Twitter at KNEO917 Sports.
First down and 10 for the Indians. 5:01 to go in the third quarter. 21-21 your score. Seneca's first possession, 3 and out. Want to be able to do something here on offense as they had a loss of 2 yards on their first time they had the ball. Looked like there may have been a bad snap on that play. Hoover's going to try to get to the outside. He's going to cut back, and Wilkerson's going to wrap him up and take him down to the turf. Not before Hoover can get 5 yards on the play. Second down and 5.
Yeah, good run by him of cutting it back up the middle.
They had everybody. Did you see that 4-4 look? I mean, they had 4 down linemen. They had 4 linebackers right up in the middle.
They've been keeping Wilkerson up tight. And a couple of times when they go to trips, Wilkerson sits back over the middle, but it doesn't look like they're going to be in a trip situation. Wilkerson's up tight, almost in a linebacker position.
Well, they want that second long. That's what they want. They want to stop him and get second long.
Receivers to each side for
Look
Hoover.
at it again. Here it is.
Looking at his wristband. We're going to send Altic in motion. It's going to be a low snap. Handoff's going to go to Mars to the left side. He's got a little bit of an opening. Lowers his shoulder on Wilkerson, and is going to be just shy of the first down. Mars going to get to the 33-yard line, a pickup of 4, third down and 1.
Big third down play here. You got to be able to convert, keep the drive alive, because Lamar's starting to gain some momentum here. Have to try and get the momentum back in your favor.
See if they don't come out in heavy this time. 2-8 back look.
Now Wilkerson and Mars just keep going, running right into each other. Almost every time Mars gets the ball, Wilkerson finds him. They just stand each other up. Nobody really gains any ground, and the whistle play has to be blown dead. It is a heavy look this time. Renfro and Vaughn both in there. Mars has pressure in his face, and he's not going to get enough for the first down as he had all kinds of guys in his face.
May have lost a yard.
Back to the 32-yard line. I think you're right, Ben. I think he did lose a yard on the play. Had the heavy set, and they decided to go opposite of the heavy set.
And this is an interesting call because Seneca looks like they're going for it.
3:08 to go in the third quarter. 21-21.
This is
Fourth
just
down
go ahead.
and 2 for the Indians. Ball placed on their own 32-yard line. Need to get to the 34.5-yard line for a first down. Hoover looking over the defense. Got all kinds of guys in his face. 5 men up on the line of scrimmage. Handoff's going to go Altic. Altic trying to get to the outside. He's going to dive. He's going to have enough for the first down.
Just barely.
Altic had to reach out, but he had just enough for the first down. Lost his footing a little bit. Was getting pulled down from behind. And it's first down and 10.
Holy cow, boys. That you talk about a gutsy call there.
Yeah,
just trying to keep some momentum.
I was just thinking that. I was wondering if you would go for it, but you're on your own 33 when that happens and able to at least get a fresh set of downs.
2:42 to go in the third quarter, 21-21. 2 receivers to the far side with Hearn and Ginger. Hoover looking over the defense. He's going to take off and run to the right side. Now he's going to look for the backside throw. He's got Vaughn open in the air, mails it over Vaughn's head. Vaughn had to step on his defender. Coverage by number 37, Keaton Pagash. And that was just a little too high for Vaughn. Great play action by Hoover.
Hoover might be a little bit too amped up here at this point.
We've seen Hoover connect on a lot of those passes in previous games tonight. He's just a little bit hurt, a little bit rushed because he knows he's got a big defensive line coming at him. Altick and Ackerson going to be split on the far side. Olsen on the near side. Mars to the right of Hoover. Ginger in tight on the near side as well. And it's going to be a handoff to Mars. Mars had a guy right in his face. He makes a cut back at the 40-yard line, still on his feet. Diving forward, ball's on the ground. And coming up big is Logan Barwick. Logan Barwick looks like he jumped on top of that one. Neither one's wanting to give up the ball.
Well, if it is a Seneca football, they would have a first down on the play. Because I think he got 9, but he comes away with the football, and it should be a Seneca first down.
Good job by Barwick to follow his runner downfield. Ball placed at the 47-yard line, a 12-yard pickup on the play. Now for statistics, does that go to Mars or does that go to Barwick, or does Barwick get the 1-yard carry or 2-yard carry? What we got there, Coach?
Looked like they went 3 front that time. It looked like they changed their defense, went 3 front. Looks like they're doing, they might do it. No, they're back to a 4 front now.
Hoover looking over to the sidelines. Now he looks at the defense. Handoff's going to go to Mars. No, he's a play action fake. He's got Hearn one-on-one, and he's going to airmail that one once again. He had his guy beat on the outside, and Hoover just needs a little bit more touch. Great job by Hearn to get open.
Yeah, he's a little amped up, it looks like, at this point.
We've got him there. He's just, like you said, he's just a little amped up. And he's not getting the pressure either. They got good blocking up front here. He's got plenty of time to put that ball. He's just a little antsy.
2 receivers to the far side with Olsen and Ackerson. Vaughn to the right, Mars to the left. Hoover going to look over to Coach Hilburn. Hoover's going to change the play. 7 guys in the box for Lamar. Quick hitch route to Ackerson. He gets hit hard as it was a pass incomplete as that ball was sailed a little high as well on Hoover. Ackerson able to get back to the huddle as Alex Wilkerson came in, read that play perfectly from the free safety position and put a big hit on Ackerson.
A little bit of a high throw too. If he's able to get that one pretty quickly, he might be able to make Wilkerson miss and have a block and try and go for a long ways, but just a little bit more of touch than probably Hoover wanted. Big third down play here for the Indians.
Ackerson, one of those guys, don't talk a whole lot about him because he gets a lot of receptions, but that's about it. But he doesn't hardly ever come off the football field. Trips to the far side this time for the Indians. 1 receiver on the near side and Vaughn. Handoff's going to go. No, it's a play fake. He's looking to pass once again. He's got his man downfield, and he sails that one over Altick's head.
And there was a tug on the back of the jersey, no call. He tugged him as he was going by, and refs letting him play here this evening.
Fourth down and 10 for the Indians on 3 straight passing plays, unable to get any yards after you had a big 4th down conversion.
We'll see here. If you're Seneca, you need to be able to flip field position here and try and get it, within the 20-yard line of Lamar.
And nobody's more mad at Hoover than Hoover himself because he's a very hard on himself type of quarterback, but he's got to let those
There's
go.
a flag.
Penalty flag as roughing the kickers. Ackerson had no chance to come down with that one.
All depends on what it is. Is it roughing or is it running?
No, trust me. He hit him when he was up in the air.
And so that's a 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. Indians get the ball. If it's from the line of scrimmage, then it should be at the Lamar 37-yard line, 38-yard line.
So ball was placed at the 47. And then make sure they get it marked off correctly because he started from the 46.
So 38-yard line. But big play there for the Indians, a fresh set of downs. Can you take advantage? They've had the ball the majority here of the third quarter, and the only score has been by the Tigers.
So Hoover has a new set of downs to work with. First down and 10 for the Indians. Going to send Altick in motion. Run to the near side of the field. Handoff's going to go to Mars to the left side. Makes a man miss the line of scrimmage. Lowers his shoulder at the 35. And there's no momentum going forward. They've got to blow that dead. You're going to have a lineman or defensive lineman get stepped on, roll an ankle. Something's going to happen. We've got to blow that one dead as soon as there's no forward momentum.
Good run, though, for Mars. Love to get those 4- and 5-yard carries here.
Ran a little zone left play on that side. They just take the blockers just take them where they want to go and let Mars pick his hole.
4th down and 6 from the 34-yard line. 2 receivers to the far side. Hoover going to run right to the middle. He's got a man right in his face, and that's going to be number 9, Cameron Sturgill. Penalty flag comes flying in, probably in the area of holding.
It's a late flag, too.
Maybe a legal procedure, as he didn't get it blown dead in time.
Got to be personal foul or something.
Holding against the Indians, and a big penalty is going to bring him back.
It was from the 33.
I know Mars was back there, but I don't know who he was blocking or even trying to block. But I didn't see anybody over there on that left side.
Ball is going to be placed back on the 43-yard line for the Indians, so a loss of about 9 on the play. It's going to make it 2nd down and 15.
Can you get a little bit touch on a pass, because the Seneca receivers are beating the Lamar defensive backs.
30 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. 21-21 your score. Trips to the near side for Hoover. Fake the handoff to Mars. He's going to look to throw once again. Hoover's going to take off and run. He's at the 40-yard line, lowers his shoulder, and he's going to get back to the original line of scrimmage. And that'll probably do it for the 3rd, and we'll probably go into the 4th, all tied up at 21. We'll see what Coach Hilburn decides to do.
Clock's still winding. I don't think they're going to take another snap here, Steph.
That's going to do it for 3 quarters of play. The Tigers and the Indians all tied up at 21 here at Tom Hodge Field. We'll be back with the 4th quarter action right after this.
If you're a weekend warrior who likes to go, 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 don't let pain put the brakes on your pace. When you need help with an injury that keeps you from moving, you want an orthopedic team with a proven track record. Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is nationally recognized, and were recently named CareCheck's #1 hospital in the market and top 10% hospital in the state for hip fracture repair. Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, the experience you need to keep pace with life.
Proudly supporting the Seneca Indians is Doug's Body Works. Owned and operated by Doug Scribner, they offer a 24-hour wrecker service and specialize in auto body and frame repair. Doug's Body Works is located at 1008 Oneida in Seneca and is proud to serve the local area. 417-776-8611. Go Indians!
And it's going to be a dump pass to Hoover Mars to start the playoff. He's still on his feet at the 25-20. It's a foot race to the end zone. Mars going to be taken down, not just denied into the end zone. Touchdown Seneca Indians. Touchdown Jackson Mars. Great play by Gavin Hoover as he was trying to set up the backside screen to Mars as we came into the 4th quarter. He had pressure in his face and was able to get it off just in time to Mars. Mars beat a couple of guys, and it was a foot race to the end zone. Took a defender with him and stumbled into the end zone for the touchdown.
I'm telling you what, now Jackson Mars broke about 3 tackles, and he ain't going down when he gets close. He's just letting Lamar know that, boys, I'm here, and it's going to be all night long.
Hoover to Mars on the connection of 38 yards out. Good snap, good Hulk, and it's going to go through the upright. Seneca leads 28-21, just 11 seconds into the 4th quarter here in the KNEO and Seneca Indian Sports Network.
Stashed away at First Community Bank. Our new Swipe and Save program makes it a lot easier to stash money away into savings. Once you enroll your First Community Bank checking account into the program, your savings will grow every time you swipe any MasterCard debit card that is tied to your checking account. Swipe and Save automatically rounds up each debit card purchase to the nearest dollar and then transfers the change into your savings account. It's that easy. Call or stop by a First Community Bank location for enrollment details.
First Community Bank, member FDIC.
Regain the lead.
What a play by Hoover, because you had a blitzing linebacker. He's able to step up and be able to dump it over him, and there's nobody there because they had an all-out blitz. He's able to get it to Mars. Mars makes one defender miss, make sure he gets the 1st down, and he goes all the way into the end zone for a touchdown. And, folks, we got ourselves a 4th quarter lined up pretty good here.
You say a blitzing linebacker, 2 or 3, 4 blitzing linebackers. It was a screen set up, obviously. They saw green, they ran to it. Hoover just had barely enough time to get that pass away. Miller's going to kick this one, a high end over and kick that's going to go to the left side, and it's going to roll out of bounds. Lamar will have the opportunity to take over 1st down and 10 from their own 35.
Yeah, mistake there for Miller. really his first mistake of the evening.
Coach Hilburn just saying, that's all right, man. You're not going to get every single one of them. That's okay. And that's good encouragement by the head coach down there.
Yeah, Miller has done an excellent job of pinning Lamar deep. Usually that one just didn't work out too well.
Hey, let me point something out to you, gentlemen, that, I don't think either one of these teams have had to play 4 quarters.
You're exactly right. The closest Seneca came was last week. Lamar, maybe week 2 against Logan Rogersville, where they had 28-0.
Yeah, they didn't fast clock anybody in the second game or against Logan Rogersville. Like you said, that would be the closest. Seneca has fast clocked their first 3.
Receivers each side for B-Shore. It's going to be inside handoff to Hahn. Hahn trying to get to the outside, and it's a good thing that he had Ackerson out there to take him down, because after Ackerson, there was a lot more green in front of Hahn. Second down.
And these starters, like Coach mentioned, playing the fourth quarter for the first time. See who has a little bit more want to here in the fourth quarter of play.
There's a big hill that sits right over here just behind the elementary school. Sometimes these Indian football players run for conditioning. I bet some of those they're thinking about those right now as they're ready to go. Got to dig down deep in this fourth quarter. Going to send a man in motion. B-Shore's going to run to the left side. He's got all kinds of room. He's going to almost break out of the tackle. Good job by Alexander to haul him down, because B-Shore has a touchdown run, the 33-yard touchdown run he had earlier. Same exact play, fake right, go left, all kinds of room.
Yeah, I don't think if Alexander makes that play, I honestly think that we're looking at ourselves a 1-point game pending an extra point.
Well, once again, when they shift everybody over and everybody goes this way, and you're in man-to-man, you really got nobody in the backfield on that side. You've got to make the play at the line of scrimmage. The linebacker's got to make the play.
Balance set for B-Shore this time. It's going to be just a run up the middle once again for him. And he's going to get across midfield to the 48-yard line.
You look here so far, it looks like, neither team really has been able to throw the ball, so it might be who can stop the other team's run and be able to force them into passing situations. Because right now, both teams' offensive running games have been working well. You had that screen pass for the Indians that went for a touchdown, but right now, both teams' offensive are getting big chunks of yardage.
2nd down and 5. Bounce set for Lamar once again. B-Shore's going to look to throw, looking for the out route. It's a hitch-and-go route. Hearn's going to give coverage over the top. A great coverage by Olsen and Hearn. Great job by Hearn to peek in and see that B-Shore was going to throw and got downfield.
Yeah, it was a hitch-and-go there, and they did a good job of having it double covered and not looking into the backfield.
Hey, what happened was when the guy come down for the fake and he took off on Eli, Eli hit him, knocked him off his route, got a little physical with him. Blake Hearn cut up inside of him. If Blake hit around just a little bit quicker, we might have had it.
Yeah, Eli Olsen was right on top of that play too, Coach. Good eye down there. And Hearn comes over the top to help out. Balance set once again. Wilkerson going to go in motion. Going to send another man in motion. That's going to be Davis.
Here we go.
And it's going to be B-Shore to the backside. Now he's going to try to string it out to the outside. Great job by, I believe that's Jackson Mars. No, that's going to be Morgan Vaughn coming up with a big hit. A tackle for loss for the Indians defense. And it's going to be 4th down and 6, a loss of 1 on the play.
That's her bread and butter. That's her bread and butter play right there. Shift everybody over. B-Shore out the back door.
You got to watch a fake here for Lamar. You got nobody back. Zackerson will go back, but I think you basically have your base defense here and make sure that they punt the football.
9:20 to go in this contest. Seneca leading 28-21.
Love it.
Alex Wilkerson's going to walk up, and it's going to be maybe a short pooch punt, and he's going to look to pass. He's got a man wide open. That's going to be caught. Coming up is Atkinson, and it's going to be off to the races. Indians did not have him covered. Cameron Sturgill, Alex Wilkerson, their backup quarterback, throws the passing touchdown. Indians should have been prepared for that one, and unfortunately they weren't. Man-to-man coverage, those type of situations. And after the last 2 botched snaps by Wilkerson in the center, you can't really blame Coach B-Shore for going for it there. Last one cost him a touchdown. This time he's able to score a touchdown from Wilkerson to Sturgill. On to attempt the PAT is Juarez. Good snap, good hold. Kick is going to sail. It looks like it went right. It went left. and the Indians lead 28-27. With 9:04 to go, we'll step aside for 30 seconds here on the Seneca Indian Sports Network.
Seneca Indian Athletics is sponsored by Prairie Top Chiropractic. Located at 4556 Quince Road in Seneca, chiropractic physician Seth Wilson offers chiropractic services to Seneca and the surrounding areas. For appointment information, their phone number is 417-776-4556 or discover more at facebook.com/Prairie Top Chiropractic. Prairie Top Chiropractic, where their slogan is better health, better you.
28-27 your score. Seneca leading, 9:04 to go in this contest. So two missed point after try missed by each team. Seneca able to capitalize on a 2-point conversion, made up for it. But the last touchdown scored by Lamar went wide left.
Now you better watch the onside kick.
I love a 9-minute drive here.
Last drive for the Indians took up 5 minutes, 20 seconds.
But first you got to recover the football.
Watch the kick. Watch the onside kick here.
That's exactly what Seneca's doing.
Allen shifts over. It's going to be an end-over wobbly kick that's going to bounce down and take a roll out of bounds. Seneca will have it first down and 10 from their own 35.
So, like you said, trying to make sure to watch for the onside kick, and now you have the football. 9:04 to go. I think everybody in the building would be happy with a 9-minute drive, as heartbeats are beating a little bit faster down there, huh, Coach?
Telling you what, you caught me off a little bit. And let me tell you something, this place is rocking, and ain't nobody left either. It's a packed house. And we get down here on this west end down here, you got the student body section is always loud. Bands are rocking. You got everybody going now.
9:04 to go in this one, 28-27. Seneca with the lead against Lamar. Number 1 in the state, number 5 in the state.
This is the kind of game you expect.
Locking horns tonight. 2 receivers to the near side with Hearn and Ackerson. Hoover going to hand it off to Mars on the left side. Coming up to make the play is Sturgill, who just had the passing reception for a touchdown. And no gain on the play, 2nd down and 10.
Right now, Lamar's pinning their ears back, expecting a run. Do you run a quarterback draw? Try and do one of those look-in passes to the tight end, see if you can suck those safeties in?
That was all-out blitz right there. They're trying to get him in 2nd and long. This is what they're trying to do. Then they'll back off just a little bit.
You still got everybody inside the box, basically.
2 receivers on the far side, Ginger and Olsen. Near side is Ackerson. That's going to be a passing play. It's going to be a quick hitter, Ackerson. Ackerson's going to spin. He gives a stiff arm, lowers his shoulder, and keeps going downfield across midfield or right at midfield. They're going to call him out of bounds. Great throw, great catch, great run after the catch.
Yeah, 5-yard out route. It's a timing route. Ackerson and Hoover both read that one perfectly. Ackerson able to beat his defender, get a couple extra yards, give Seneca a fresh set of downs.
Well, they're going to play him nice and soft just because you don't get up hard on an all-state receiver. I can tell you that right now.
Olsen going to check in. Means they're probably going to go an empty set as Vaughn checks out. 8 minutes to go on this one. Seneca with the ball. 2 receivers split on the near side. Altick on the far side.
You can see a shot here, first down.
Mars to the right of Hoover. And it's going to be an option play. It's going to be a pitch to Mars. Mars is going to make a cut back at the 50, and he's going to be wrapped up. Ball's going to go stripping free to Hoover. Hoover stays on his feet. Now the ball's going to be loose again. Still on the ground, and coming up with it, I think, is Bigby. Bigby is finally going to jump on that one. Got stripped, went right to Hoover's hands, got stripped again, and Nick Stevens comes up with it, and Stevens also comes up hobbling.
They're tackling the football down here. Lamar's not worried about too much to run. They're tackling the football is what they're doing.
2nd down play. As Wheeler's going to check out. 1-yard gain after the fumble. I'm not sure who to give that one to.
I'd give it to Hoover because Mars was all wrapped up.
7 minutes to go. 28-27. Olsen to the far side this time. Hearn and Ackerson on the near side. No safety over the top as Wilkerson's going to be over the top of Ginger. And it's going to be a reverse play to Hearn. Hearn's going to take off and run with it. He's got blockers set up in front of him. He cuts back in. He's going to get hit hard. Stays on his feet, though, and gets up to the 41-yard line. Good job by Hoover to block downfield. on for Hearn, and Hearn gets to the 41 to pick up a 6, 3rd down and 3.
Make it 3rd and short, and you got 2 chances here to get a first down. Depending on what happens, at the very worst, you're hoping to flip field position.
Oh, trust me, it's 4-down territory. For Seneca, they do not want to give Lamar the football. It's 4-down territory.
6:20 to go.
Hopefully Seneca doesn't have to burn a second time out here because they don't get out of the huddle till 10 to go.
Quickly up to the line for the Indians. Ackerson and Altick split out to the near side. And it's going to be a handoff to Mars. Mars got pressure in his face, and he's going to have a lineman right on him and stop him in his tracks for a loss of yard on the play, 4th down.
Decision time. Because if you punt the football, you could pin him deep. Looks like Seneca's going to go for it, though. Play of the game coming up.
Oh, they were wanting a few yards there, I know.
And that was one of those where it wasn't quite a crisp, clean mesh for Mars and Hoover. I think slowed him down just enough, and he had pressure in his face.
I think you got to look for Ackerson, maybe a little bit of a rub route with Eli Olson.
They go to zone out here on the left side. Got 3 on 2.
Timeout from Coach Hilburn. 5:19 to go in this one. We'll send it back to the studio for a 30-second timeout.
Prater's Pharmacy in Seneca is a proud supporter of the Seneca Indians. The pharmacy is open from 9 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and from 9 to 1 on Saturday. They offer an automatic refill program and internet refill service online at praterspharmacy.com and through their mobile apps. They also have a drive-through window. Prater's Pharmacy at 1711 Cherokee in Seneca, 417-776-8701. Go Indians!
Southern State University and Marine Center Incorporated.
Interesting call coming up here, because if you go for it and you don't get it, they have the ball somewhere around their own 42-yard line. If you punt it, you can try and pin them deep. But looks like the offense is going to stay out there.
Big play coming up for the Seneca offense. Game reset. 28-27, 5:19 on the clock. Seneca with the 1-point lead.
Ackerson
Indians
all by himself out here on the left side.
Indians with the possession of the ball.
One-on-one against B-Shore.
4th down and 4.
They'll be blitzing everything they can blitz.
Go an out route, do something quickly to Ackerson.
9 guys in the box for Lamar. They're going to look to throw. Hoover's got time, gives a pump fake. He's got Ackerson open, and it's off his fingertips, incomplete. He had his man open, and off his fingertips it goes. Turner over on downs.
Wow.
They had him. He was open.
Oh, my God. He was there. They ran it absolutely perfect. He was there.
5:14 to go in this one.
You know, he's been good. He just hasn't been in this situation. He's going to grow a lot right now. Hoover's going to grow a lot over this game right now.
And if you're the Seneca defense, now is your time to shine, as they've got to find a way to get the football back or keep Lamar out of the end zone 1.
Watch that. Everybody to one side. B-Shore on the backside. That's what's just killing them.
Seneca going to load up the box pretty heavy. Going to send a man in motion. It's going to be a fake handoff to him. B-Shore's going to go back to the right side. He makes a spin move, still on his feet. Now he's going to be finally brought down at the 45-yard line. Great job by Barwick and Mars to stay home. Limit that play to 3 yards. 2nd down and 7.
Seneca 1 timeout. Lamar has all 3 of theirs to burn as well.
You think everybody down here is on the edge of their seat?
Edge of their seat, Coach, for sure. 4:45 to go.
You don't love these games, you don't need to be on the field. I can tell you that right now.
Both teams giving all their effort they have on this one tonight. 2nd down and 7. B-Shore in shotgun. Going to send a man in motion. It's going to be a fake to him. B-Shore's going to go to the right side, and he's going to be stood up and stopped. Great job by Gravener to come in on the stop for the Indians, as well as, I believe that may be Vaughn. No, it's Alexander. Alexander coming up off the bottom of the pile. A pickup of a couple yards. Timeout for Lamar. We'll keep it right here as they only pick up 2 yards. 3rd down and 5.
And this becomes an interesting scenario because Lamar has not been able to throw the football. They've been able to run the football. You're probably looking at 2-down territory. Coach, if you're Lamar, do you run their bread and butter and see if you can pick up some good chunk, make it 4th down and short?
If I was Lamar, I would quit worrying about trying to run the fake the drag and all that jet stuff. I would snap it back and run it right down the middle. That's what I would do if I was Lamar.
Yeah, you go back to the first 2 drives by the Tiger offense to start this game, and it was nothing but Beshore right up the middle, Beshore right up the middle, and that's what they've found success with, and look for Coach Beshore to go back to that on this play. 3rd down, 5 yards to go, ball placed at the 47-yard line. 4:14 to go, Seneca with a 1-point lead. Beshore going to send Wilkerson in motion.
Here they go.
It's going to be Beshore right up the middle. He's dancing around, and he's going to dive forward for right at the yard to gain. We say we mark his forward progress, and he's going to have enough for the 1st down.
We'll see where they spot it.
They mark it short. They come back, and he's got enough because they had to get to the 48.
I think they're going to measure.
Kevin Reinhardt says we're going to measure this one. I think he's got more than enough. I say more than enough, probably a football enough for the 1st down. Seneca Indian football brought to you tonight by Langford Insurance, Layerly Heating and Air, First Community Bank, Missouri Farm Bureau Agent Josh Dotson, C4 Equipment Rental, and Timberline Tree Service. And he's got it by about a half a football. 1st down and 10, Lamar. The ball placed at the 48-yard line.
Old Eagle Eye Seth up there's got it.
I'm on it, Coach. Right in front of me. I mean, if I'm missing this one, Coach, I probably have to go get my eyes checked because it is spot straight in line with me.
Here we go. We're subbing in. We're changing the defense.
1st down and 10.
They won the clock, too.
For Lamar. 4 minutes to go by the time this snap is off. Balance set for Beshore. Going to send Davis in motion. And it's going to be Beshore back to the left side. He's got pressure in his face on Alexander. He stays on his feet, and he's going to be off to the races. Eli Olsen going to give chase, and he's going to trip him up just enough to save the touchdown. Great job backside pursuit by Olsen. Alexander had him right at the at the line of scrimmage. Beshore able to squirt free for a big gain of 37 yards down to the 11-yard line.
That's their bread and butter. Shift everybody over, put everybody in motion to the right, run Beshore on the backside.
On 3 plays, Beshore has over 100 yards just on 3 plays. He's got 21 carries on the night.
Lamar starting to milk a little bit of the clock here as well.
3:25 to go.
I don't think they're going to get it off.
And Beshore's looking at the play clock, and he says we're going to have to call a timeout, and they do that. We're going to send it back to the studio for a 30-second break. We come back. We'll have the rest of the 4th quarter for you here on the KNEL and Seneca Indian Sports Network.
People's Bank of Seneca, customer-driven since 1996, investing in our community and you. Locations in Joplin and Seneca. You choose. PeoplesBankofSeneca.com. Member FDIC. Proud supporter of Southwest Missouri Athletics.
First down and 10 for the Lamar Tigers at the Indians' 16-yard line. So a 32-yard gain for Beshore on the last run. Sets him up shop with just under 3:30 to go.
You find a way to get another turnover. Need to put a hat on the ball. Obviously need to wrap up as well.
Someone needs to make a big right here.
Beshore's got a balance set once again. Wingbacks each side as well as a wide receiver. It's going to be inside handoff to Hahn. Hahn's got room on the left side to run. It's going to be tripped up just enough by Alexander just inside at the 10-yard line. A pickup of 6 on the play, 2nd down and 4. Got to do something to change it up a little bit so that way they don't keep keying on Beshore.
And they're fine milking the clock here.
They're going to try to score with about a minute left on the clock, I would guess, Ben.
Yeah, and we did see their kicker in warm-ups. He was making 36-yard field goals. Right now, it'd be about a 25-yarder. But he's on the left hash.
2nd down for Lamar. Going to send Wilkerson in motion. Watch for the backside counterplay. Wilkerson is going to get behind his guys. He's going to bounce to the outside. It's going to be a foot race to the end zone, and he's going to be stood up, but he's going to get into the end zone for a touchdown. Jackson Mars gave good pursuit, and Lamar regains the lead.
Coach Hilburn looking for a penalty flag, probably looking for a hold, and you're going to see Lamar go for 2 here, try and get it back to
6.
Well, they're going for extra point. I figured they would go for 2 here, try and make it 7. And
offense stays on the field for Lamar. Wilkerson going to be in. It's a heavy set. We saw this play earlier just outside the goal line. Wilkerson's going to shift all of his guys. Watch one run back to the weak side. He's going to throw the dump pass. It's going to be incomplete. Incomplete pass. 28-33 is your score. 2:33 to go here in the fourth quarter. We come back. We'll have the rest of the fourth quarter for you on the KNEO and Seneca Indian Sports Network.
Summer's heat wave is still here, and now's the time to call Lyerla Heating and Air, your Train comfort specialists, and receive $1,400 off the purchase of a qualifying Train heating and cooling system. Train systems are put through the harshest testing imaginable. Imagine no worries, just clean, comfortable air.
This is Kevin.
And Kim.
For more comfort and less worry, leave it to Lyerla.
Because it's hard to stop a train.
Lyerla Heating and Air, proud to be the tech of our trade.
KNEO would like to thank the Big Nickel for sponsoring this portion of broadcasting on 91.7 FM. The Big Nickel is an advertising shopper for thousands of different items, from automobiles and livestock to help wanted and real estate. It covers a 70-mile radius in the 4-state area and is available in area businesses each week. Located at 2918 East 20th Street in Joplin, Missouri. Their telephone number is 417-624-4100.
Back deep to receive for the Indians. Hearn and Altick just to give Mars a breather. Altick's going to field this one on about the 12-yard line, trying to set blockers in front of him. He's going to dance around. He's got a little bit of an opening. He makes a cut back to the right side, still on his feet.
He fumbled the football.
Balls on the ground. Balls on the ground.
I think we still have it.
Looks like Seneca may have it.
It's a big recovery, and Seneca comes away with it.
I
was thinking the entire time, you got to cover the football because he was kind of carrying it like a loaf of bread.
He had an opening. He danced around a little bit, found that burst of speed, but the ball got knocked free.
Do you run a hitch and go on first down? It's been there. You've proven that Ackerson can beat B Shore.
They'll be playing soft on the outside. They ain't going to give up that again.
So
they'll let him catch it, and then they'll come up and make the tackle, but they do not want to get beat deep.
And maybe it's a fake screen and have a go route. Hoover, shotgun formation, trips to the near side. He's going to look to pass. Looking for the quick hitter. That's going to be to Altick. Altick's going to get sandwiched as soon as he catches the ball.
He's near a first down.
He's right at the yard to gain. Near side judge has the spot for him.
And I think they gave it to him.
He's just going to be just short. Second down. Ball placed at the 49.
I thought they gave it to him.
9-yard reception.
Do you run a go route here now? Second down and inches, you still have a chance at the first down on third down.
You're going to run them off and try to hit some underneath passes, stuff like that. But I don't know if you take one shot downfield over the top just yet.
1:48 to go on this one. 2 receivers to the far side. Going to send a man in motion. That's going to be Marge going to take it. And he's just going to get trampled up. Coming in, the linebacker, Kyler Nance, had all kinds of daylight to run to. Ball at the 49-yard line. A loss of 2 from Mars in that play as he had trouble getting his mouthpiece in. A little bit out of sync.
We ran counter play and we didn't pick up the blitzing linebacker.
Third down and 3. 1:20 to go.
Clock is running too.
Trips to the far side. Renfro of all guys out here split to the near side. Mars to the right. And it's going to be a passing play. It's going to be a quick hitter. That's going to be to Altick. And there's no penalty flag as he was looking for Olsen. No penalty flag thrown as he had all kinds of contact as the ball was in the air. Fourth down.
I have let him play all night long, letting him continue here. And, folks, here's your ball game. We'll see if Seneca decides to call a timeout before this fourth down play. Ball game on the line. You still got plenty of time. 20 seconds on the play clock.
Fourth down, 3 yards to go. Seneca needs to get just to the past the 48-yard line. 1:08 to go. Hoover looking over to the sideline. Marsh to the left of him, Ackerson on the near side. And it's going to be a passing play. He's going to look for Ackerson. Ackerson's going to get there, but there's a penalty flag thrown as the defender was there early. And he gets up looking to figure out why there was a penalty flag. It's going to be a 15-yarder. Joel Beshore on the coverage.
I was going to say, it's been Beshore and Ackerson all night long, and you get a free 15.
1 minute to go now. Now you've got to press a little bit more as you just have 1 minute to go. 1:05.
You still have your one timeout as well. They haven't marked it off yet. Seneca's ready to go, but I don't think the clock will start until the snap because of the penalty now. So you do have a little bit of time, I think. Not 100% sure.
Ball placed at the 36-yard line. First down and 10 for Seneca. 1:05 to go. Trips to the far side for Hoover. Vaughn on the near side.
And the ball is on the snap.
Hoover looks over the defense. He's going to look to pass. He's going to look for the home run ball. He's got Altick wide open at the 20-yard line. At the 10, he makes a cutback. 5. Touchdown, Seneca Indians. Touchdown, Ethan Altick. As the pass reception is good from 36 yards out. And the Indians regain the lead with 56 seconds to go.
What a play call. What a reception. And Seneca's got to go for 2 now to make it a 3-point ball game. What a play call. Altick all night. Seneca's passes, the wide receivers have been there. And all of a sudden you got yourselves a 1-point lead. Under a minute to go. What a ball game. This is what small town high school football is all about.
This is big time high school football right here, man.
It's a good thing there's an ambulance nearby, but woo, my goodness.
Might have multiple people going to the hospital.
Everybody's up. Everybody's on their feet.
Looks like there may have been defender jump off sides. It may have been the guard that pulled him off sides, and it's going to be a legal procedure. It is against the Indians. Now Kevin Arnhart's going to talk to his official on the outside, say, what did you have? Because I had a legal procedure. Did he get drawn off? Did the defender get drawn off?
It looked like the defender jumped before anybody else. We'll see if that's what they decide. But it's not, because they're marching it back.
Either way, you've got to go for 2 here. It doesn't.
Yeah. The 2-point conversion is the play to go.
It is the legal procedure against the Indians. 2 officials had it, so you know they both had to be the right thing. Saw one of the offensive linemen jump. Egg and Ginger going to check out. Trips to the near side. Morgan Vaughn to the far side. We've seen Vaughn be able to go up over the top of defenders and make a play. We've seen Ackerson do that as well. Hoover looking over the defense. Going to drop back to pass. Looking for the out route, and that's going to be to Ackerson. Ackerson's going to haul it in, and he's got it for the 2-point conversion. 56 seconds to go. Seneca leads 36-33 on the KNEO and Seneca Indian Sports Network.
A proud supporter of local high school athletics is Numac Electric. Serving Newton and McDonald County, they provide power for area homes and businesses and want to wish all the athletes much success throughout the season. For online bill pay and account information, the website is numac.com or 417-451-1515. Numac Electric, proudly serving Newton and McDonald County, where their slogan is your touchstone energy partner.
36-33 after the post corner route to Ethan Altick. Altick made a man miss and got into the end zone. 2-point conversion attempt good by Ackerson. And the Indians find themselves back up by 3.
You need Enoch Miller here to kick it deep and not have it go out of bounds. He's done a good job all night long of kicking it. That last one went out of bounds. Try and angle it where your guys are and make sure that they have to drive a long ways, because more than likely they're going to have to try and pass the football, which has not been there for this Lamar Tiger offense. But still, 56 seconds is a long time, because Seneca scored in about a minute and a half.
We need a good tackle right here. We need to get guys go downfield, make a tackle. Get down.
That's going to be a squib kick. That's going to be fielded, and he's going to drop on it. That's going to be number 5, Hunter Lundeen, at the 24-yard line.
So Lamar's.
Yeah, they don't like to throw, Ben, but trust me, you do not give up anything cheap. I'm talking about screen passes. I'm talking about little flares, little something, all the dipsy-do reverse pass. You don't give up anything like that.
I think you also still have to be wary of the run because they've been getting big chunks the entire night. Because the clock does stop on a first down, so you can get 10 to 15-yard chunks at a time. We're going to see what this Seneca team is made of right now.
Out of B Shore's last 8 runs, he's had 3 of them over 30 yards.
Somebody needs to make a play for this Seneca defense.
Balance set for the Indians, spreading out wide. B Shore going to look to throw. Got Googie with the reception. He's going to step out of bounds at the 30-yard line. 6-yard pickup, 2nd down and 4.
And only 4 seconds off the play clock as well. So a big chunk in 4 seconds.
That's what I'm talking about. You see 14 running right down the middle of the field because he came out of the backfield. That stuff like that cannot happen. You cannot give up the big passes. They score with the back out of the backfield.
And we've got man coverage. Jackson Mars is sitting back there at free safety, basically going rover.
We're going to cover 2 back here in the back.
Going to send a man in motion. That's going to be Olsen. 2 men go in motion. Coach Hilburn's going to call a timeout. As Coach Crane, he's pointing to Coach Crane. We got some confusion, guys. Let's get this settled right now.
I think we got time.
Great timeout.
And that's the last
before they jumped.
That's the last timeout for Seneca. So they're out of timeouts. It's going to basically come down to this. Lamar still has 1 timeout, but they will take those 6-yard out routes the entire way down the field. So if you're Seneca, you got to watch for those hitch and goes as well and make sure you're staying covered.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you just set a defender up. Hey, I'm just going to casually take the out route. You're going to give me 6 yards. And next thing you know, he turns his shoulders and gets upfield. He shows hands, turns and gets upfield. You got to be ready for that.
Yeah, we're playing man. We're playing 2 back. We're playing man under, 2 over the top. And I know we're giving them some run or something like that, and they're probably not playing as hard the linebackers up inside. But we still got to be able to get up on the wide receivers.
Somebody needs to make a play once again for this Seneca defense.
Here we go.
Quads on the far side this time for the Indians.
Watch B Shore out the back door.
Flinch.
Guard jumped. Number 77. He can't hear anything as he turns around. That's Aiden Laval. As he turns around to B Shore and says, I can't hear you. Did you snap the ball? And it's going to march him back 5 yards.
And you see Coach Hilburn and Coach Crane coming out to the hash marks almost, trying to get the defense set here because they're wary of what could happen.
2nd down and 9. Ball placed at the 26-yard line. Seneca.
Yeah, our linebackers got to play right now.
B Shore going to look for the screen out to the outside. Coming up to make the play is, I believe that's Dominic Wheeler. Great tackle, open field tackle by Wheeler, and a timeout for Lamar as he was tackled inbounds. That's Ty Wilhite, the reception. Ball placed at the 25-yard line. Only a loss of 1.
They are out of timeouts, too.
They lost 1 yard on the play. 3rd down and 10.
So it'll be interesting to see 44 seconds. If you're Seneca, A, don't give up the first down, but B, make sure everybody stays in front of you and let that clock wind because they're going to have to be in hurry-up mode the rest of the way. No timeouts for either team, so.
Well, only bad thing about running man in a situation like this is you have no help. If your first guy misses on a deep route or even on a 15-out route, if everybody else is pulled away from him, sucked away, all the routes are going away from that one guy, and he's on an island out there. If he misses that tackle, it's going to be a foot race.
I was going to say, you have to make the tackles. You can't miss a tackle here.
I'm telling you what, nobody is sitting down in this stadium right now.
3rd down and 9. 44 seconds to go. Seneca leading 36-33. 2 receivers to the far side.
You got one-on-one here on the near side.
One on the near side covered up by Olsen. Now they're going to send 2 men in motion. It's going to be B Shore looking to pass. He's got 1-on-1 coverage. Altic's going to get burned a little bit, but it's out of the hands of Googie. Altic was watching the receiver. He slowed down just enough. Good thing the pass was a little too far for Googie as he had a step on Altic. Altic, not sure if he was looking maybe for a run, if Googie maybe slowed down just a little bit, thought the play was behind him, but that's one of those he's got to stay on his hip the entire time.
That's their main receiver out there, and they shifted everybody over so they could go one-on-one. But,
here's your ball game, folks.
Our backside safety's got to realize that. There's the main guy. Get over top of him.
4th down, ball game on the fingertips of Lamar.
4th down and 9. Quads to the near side for B Shore. Got to watch him taking off and running. Looks like they maybe got a head start. It's going to be Beshore right up the middle. He's going to have enough for the first down, just enough to gain at the 36-yard line. But the clock will start once the chains are set.
And you got to be wary here with the hurry up, too, of confusion on the defensive side.
Two receivers on the near side. Beshore's going to look to throw the quick hitter to Googie to the outside, and Googie's going to step out of bounds at the 45-yard line.
That play did take a lot of time. They did have the quarterback draw because the pass play has not really been there for them here this evening. Can you tackle them inbounds even though a first down stops the clock? It doesn't stop the clock for very long. Probably looking at, if you can tackle them inbounds, you're looking at 2 plays probably tops.
Second down and a long 2 for Lamar. Ansley split on the near side. Wilhite and Googie split on the far side. 2 wingbacks. Empty set for Beshore. He's going to look to throw. The tight end's going free downfield. It's batted down by Hagen Ginger. Great play by the sophomore defensive end to get in Beshore's face. May have been setting up a wide receiver or wingback screen.
They had a screen open, and if Ginger doesn't knock that down, they could be running for a long way. So an excellent job there by Ginger to force it down. You had 2 guys open, which meant, or I should say 2 defensive guys free, which meant somebody was probably open down the field.
The tight end released to go straight downfield. He was wide open as well. Great job by Ginger. Third down.
You got to love the atmosphere.
Third down and 2. 20 seconds to go.
You ought to be right down here on the sideline, boys. It is awesome.
2 receivers split out to the near side. Beshore going to take the snap, just going to run it right up the middle. He's going to bounce the outside and taken down. Great play by
Clock's rolling too.
Ginger once again. Now if you got a first down, they see where they mark the ball. He's going to be shy of the first down. Ball at the 45-yard line. 4th down and 1. No timeouts for Lamar. 5 seconds left. Beshore's going to look to throw. It's going to be a caught pass, but there's a penalty flag thrown. There's a penalty flag thrown. There's a penalty flag thrown.
Be careful. Be careful. There is a penalty flag.
Penalty flag thrown.
It's on offense. It was illegal motion. Game's over, I think.
It is an illegal shift. The penalty is declined. The ball game is over.
Seneca wins this one 36-33 as they upset Lamar tonight.
You might have a new number 1 team in the state. Well, you will have a new number 1 team in the state. I think Blair Oaks will move up, but I can see Seneca moving up to that 2 or 3 position at the conclusion of the game. What a game. Second time in the past 3 years that Seneca has upset Lamar. 2019, the Indians upset Lamar in Lamar. The game here today, they pull off the upset 36-33, your final score. And folks, this could be the first of what could potentially be 2 ball games between these 2 teams here throughout the season. They could see each other at some point come state quarterfinal, state semifinal, if either team can get there. If that's the case, what a game, what a preview of what could happen here in the future.
Final score tonight, 36-33. The Indians defense coming up big on a play as Lamar's shutout season is over now as the Indians score 36 points on this defense.
We talked about we wanted it to be a defensive struggle, and it was more of a heart-wrenching, unusual offensive game, and Seneca able to survive here this evening. 36-33 the final score here this evening, and you have the entire student section ready to rush as Coach Beshore, Coach Hilburn, everybody in the middle of the field saying a prayer before they go their separate ways. Obviously, some great sportsmanship by both teams here before they let Seneca celebrate.
These 2 teams meet on the field. Everybody gets quiet as the fans erupted. There's not a fan that I don't think left this football stadium tonight. Final score 36-33. We're going to send it back to the studio for a 3-minute break. We come back, we'll have the post-game show for you right after this.
Modern man does not like to think of God in terms of wrath, anger, and judgment. He likes to make God in his own idealism and give God the characteristics he wants him to possess.
So, what's so bad about that? Well, Billy Graham explained.
This modern God has the attributes of love, mercy, and forgiveness, but without justice. This means an absence of judgment and punishment for sin. To have meaning, man's life must be based upon law and a lawgiver. The Bible teaches that God is going to judge man. Today, Christ is our lawyer, our Savior, willing to forgive and to cleanse and forget. Secondly, you must receive Christ as your Lord and Savior, and you can receive Him right now and trust Him.
If you'd like to know more about that, go to findpeacewithgod.net. We're the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association.
If you're a weekend warrior who likes to go, 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 don't let pain put the brakes on your pace. When you need help with an injury that keeps you from moving, you want an orthopedic team with a proven track record. Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is nationally recognized, and were recently named CareCheck's #1 hospital in the market and top 10% hospital in the state for hip fracture repair. Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, the experience you need to keep pace with life.
Steven sends one to David. He's going to catch this one.
At ProLube Tire and Auto Center, we know what it means to rely on your vehicle. We race all year and know how to get that extra inch out of every part. Precision, quality, and reliability are not just words to us. It's what we do every day. We know you rely on your vehicle to perform for your family. From oil changes to full-on repairs, ProLube gives you the best racetrack team experience, so you can be worry-free.
ProLube Tire and Auto Center, where we get it right on the road and the track.
You are now listening to the official postgame show for the Seneca Indians on the KNEO Sports Network. Coming up, you'll hear from head coach Cody Hilburn. Plus, Seth, Ben, and Daryl will break down the key moments of the game. Now, let's go back live to the stadium for the postgame show.
Roofmaster was remodeling Crowder College in the Seneca School District. The Indians victorious tonight over Lamar Tigers 36-33, and probably one of the greatest games in Southwest Missouri, probably the state of Missouri tonight. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. Probably the greatest game in Missouri tonight between these two ball clubs, as the Indians find a way to win. Some unusual plays, a fumble recovery in the end zone for a touchdown on a punt. Another big play by the Indians on a corner route by Ethan Altick and just find his way to in the end zone. A big run by Jackson Mars. Just so many good big plays tonight by this Indian team. And I think Coach Harbaugh's down in the field. He's wanting me to go ahead and send it to him because he's got two guys down there that had a decent game tonight, Coach.
Hey, I'm talking here to Connor Axton right here. Let me tell you something. Your dad's been saying the whole time that you take a lot to fill his shoes. Everybody in this stadium already knows you bypassed him a long time ago. You say that? Hey, I'll tell you what, offense and defense, you catching the short passes, you almost broke it free on that one. Great play down in the bottom.
Thank you. Felt good. Felt good to knock off the #1 team.
Hey, #1 team, you know it's going to come up around again.
That's going to be us. Yes, sir.
I'm hoping. Can you think you can come down off of this and get the team back together and focus next week?
Yeah, I think we will. I think next week we got Monette. And that's going to be another challenge. I think we got to come out and play just as good as football, and we got to pick it up right where we left off.
Come back Monday and have a good practice.
Yes,
get
sir.
ready on Tuesday and Wednesday again.
Yes, sir.
Got to get your head on straight.
Yes,
Great
sir.
win, baby. Enjoyed it. Hey, catching the winning pass out there. I'm telling you what, we run a special route here, the out route, little flag route that time.
Yeah.
Is that the one that just put in for the this game, or?
I mean, no, we've been repping a lot of practice. I mean, we've been doing it over and over. It just came down to it, we execute it.
Good pass, great run too to make that guy miss down there.
Oh yeah, felt really good. We had a plan. We came execute it.
I tell you what, everybody in the stadium and all your teammates down there high-fiving you and hugging you.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, more on defense. I'm telling you what, the kid was fast at Lamar.
Yeah, he was. It was during practice, we knew he was going to be fast, so we had to practice for him. So, I mean, we came out here, we did it. Guarded him,
It's a great win. I'm telling you what, I'm going to let you go celebrate with your teammates. Hey, let's come back next week and have some good practice, okay? Thank you. Seth, I'm going to send it back up to you with the coach.
All right, thanks a lot. We're going to actually take a break here before we get Coach Hilburn on the air. We'll send it back to the studio. We come back, we'll have the head coach of the Seneca Indians, the victorious head coach of the Seneca Indians, Coach Cody Hilburn, right after this.
Proudly supporting the Seneca Indians is Doug's Body Works. Owned and operated by Doug Scribner, they offer a 24-hour wrecker service and specialize in auto body and frame repair. Doug's Body Works is located at 1008 Oneida in Seneca and is proud to serve the local area. 417-776-8611. Go Indians!
Prater's Pharmacy in Seneca is a proud supporter of the Seneca Indians. The pharmacy is open from 9 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and from 9 to 1 on Saturday. They offer an automatic refill program and internet refill service online at praterspharmacy.com and through their mobile apps. They also have a drive-through window. Prater's Pharmacy at 1711 Cherokee in Seneca, 417-776-8701. Go Indians!
Seneca Indian Athletics is sponsored by Prairie Top Chiropractic. Located at 4556 Quince Road in Seneca, chiropractic physician Seth Wilson offers chiropractic services to Seneca and the surrounding areas. For appointment information, their phone number is 417-776-4556 or discover more at facebook.com/Prairie Top Chiropractic. Prairie Top Chiropractic, where their slogan is, better health, better you.
Dairy Queen Grill and Chill in Seneca is the place to go before or after the game. Check out their amazing menu of blizzards, including Snickers Brownie, Berry Cherry Chip, Reese's Take 5, and the Oreo Hot Cocoa Blizzard. Don't forget to grab one of their $6 or $7 meal deals or their new signature stack burger. The Dairy Queen Grill and Chill in Seneca, located at 308 Washington, open daily from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Proud to support the Seneca Indians.
A proud backer of the Seneca Indians is Campbell Biddlecombe Funeral Home of Seneca. Located at 1101 Cherokee, they are honored to serve the area with traditional service options, including church and graveside services. They also have prearranged funeral plans. For more information, the phone number for Funeral Director Mike Steele at Campbell Biddlecombe Funeral Home of Seneca is 417-776-2251 or online, campbell-biddlecombe.
You back. I'm here with the head coach of the Seneca Indians, Coach Cody Hilburn. And first off, congratulations on a big win for your team, a big win for the Seneca Indians in 2022.
Yeah, it's huge. I'm excited for our kids. That was a back-and-forth game, and we focused on all week just kind of keeping it in perspective. It's week 4, and it was so different this year with the possibility of seeing them in the playoffs. So we tried to keep it in perspective all week. But it's like I told the kids, I'd have probably given the same speech afterwards regardless, how that came out. But, man, I'm sure happy for them.
Offensively, kind of expected to see them have B-Shore run all over the place. We talked about, and actually in our coaches show, you and I did, earlier this week, where we didn't expect them to see two quarterback. And what did they do? Come out two quarterback tonight, doing a little bit of different formations, quads to one side. They came out and tried to throw everything they had at you, and you guys, your defense, for the most part, stood up. Yeah, they gave up 33 points, but, man, there was a lot of adjustments on the fly your defense had to make.
Yeah, there was a ton, and shoot, my defensive staff may quit after me getting after them as hard as I did tonight, but No, there was a ton of looks they hadn't shown all year, and really even last year they didn't go to, and so we had to kind of adjust and try to get someone. We had so many kids going both ways; it's hard to make in-game adjustments. So we had to use a few timeouts and made some adjustments at halftime. They came out and did something different in the second half. So I'm proud of our kids, man. We're trying to yell from the sideline to get them lined up, and it's so loud in this place. It was tough.
Well, tonight you had the youth night here, and usually after youth night's over with, a lot of the parents go home, take their kids home. I don't think there was a fan that left the stands tonight. They were ready to go. They were rocking. They actually caused, I think, an offsides penalty down here late in the game against Lamar because it was so loud the right guard couldn't hear the quarterback, the snap count.
Yeah, I know I haven't been here and other than last year for a long time, but that's about as loud as I've heard this place in a long time.
It was definitely an exciting win for your program. Let's go back there. I always talk about three aspects of football: offense, defense, and special teams.
Yeah.
Tonight, your special teams, Lamar had a little bit of a trouble with the snap. One snap going completely over Wilkerson's head, and Jackson Mars just sprints down there, beats into it, knocks it free, and then jumps on top of the football, too, to get the touchdown. But you guys as special teams came ready to play tonight.
Yeah, we had said that is they hadn't punted all but once all year long. So that one rep we saw, we thought they were a little shaky in that aspect. So we were going to come after every time they punted. We were going to come after it tonight, and that one went over their head. And luckily we had Jack in rush mode already there, so it put him in a good position. But that was a huge point in the game.
And then offense tonight, so many things that went well, a few things that went bad for you to do. Looking at Hoover's numbers on the night, I believe he had over 100 yards passing, 145 yards. Probably not his most efficient game passing, but whenever it came down to it, he was able to find Connor Ackerson, 6 receptions for Ackerson tonight. Whenever you guys needed a big catch, Ackerson was your guy. Even the 2-point conversion down here to put you guys up 3.
Yeah, Connor's such a big target for our underneath game, and the thing about Connor getting those catches, he is B-Shore kid was shadowing him all night. He was following Connor, and so we had their best matchup, and Connor got himself open, and Gavin stuck it on it. We knew the passing would be tough tonight because we've seen so much zone coverage that we were able to hit some holes, and tonight we saw all man coverage, and those guys were going to be there, and we had a few steps on them a couple times and just missed, but we're going to keep taking those shots, I promise you that.
And we had Ethan Altick, the game-winning touchdown reception just a while ago, kind of had one of those corner routes where he was wide open. Is that something – he said that's something you guys have been repping in practice, just really hadn't had the chance to put it in, but tonight it worked successfully for you guys.
Once a week we rep our 2-minute drill, and that's kind of what we got in there at the end, and that's a common route for us and during that period when we need a big play, and we got the right coverage for it, and actually they ran it as good as they've ran it as far as the mesh. Had 2 posts and then a corner route coming underneath it, and Ethan ran a great route right off their butts, and Gavin dropped it in there.
Great job, great overall performance by your guys. A tough team that you guys beat tonight. Now, the only other time you probably see them down the road is if you guys get to the semifinals. Both of you could have a good semifinal matchup there, but you got to take care of business week in and week out. Next week, you guys go on the road to Monette, another good ball club. Doesn't get any easier going forward in Big 8 play.
The Big 8 West is crazy right now, and I truly think it's the best small school conference in the state, and that's I kind of told our kids that we don't have time to celebrate this. I mean, we immediately got to come back, and coaches got to work their tails off tomorrow and Sunday, and then when we get our kids on Monday, we got to go right back to work.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach. We'll let you go celebrate this with your family. We'll come back in 3 minutes. Post-game show sponsors: Roof Masters, Ramada, and Crowder College.
I'm a Missouri Farm Bureau insurance agent. I'm for working hard for what you get and then protecting what you've got. Your home, your vehicles, your life. I'm for making an honest living and taking pride in what you do, and for giving back to the community I call home. I'm for serving my clients with the respect and dignity you would expect from the farmers that started this company. And though I know you probably hope you never need me, I'm here for you when you do. I'm a Missouri Farm Bureau insurance agent, and if you're a Missourian, I'm for you.
I am Josh Dotson with Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance Services. If you're in Missouri, I'm for you.
Are you tired of playing roofing roulette with your home repairs? Tired of A-plus promises and grade school work? When it comes time to choose who is on your team, do you really know much about the other roofers? With Roof Masters, our professional team of licensed, bonded, and insured craftsmen will ensure that it's done right. Beginning to end, we'll make sure to take care of your property. Those other companies, well, that could be a disaster. Whether it's a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, there's only one place to call.
Roof Masters! Roof Masters Remodeling.
I am a Missouri Farm Bureau insurance agent, and I'm here to talk about life, your dreams, your work, your family, and how you can protect it all with a company that will talk to you with the honesty of a farmer and take care of you with the integrity of a neighbor. I'll make sure no detail is left uncovered so your family can breathe easy. Because just like you, I chose to build a life in Missouri too. I'm a Missouri Farm Bureau insurance agent, and I'm from Missouri for life.
I am Josh Dotson with Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance Services. If you're in Missouri, I'm for you.
Is it really possible for God to speak to you and me today? Billy Graham said it is.
God has never stopped speaking to man. But how does God speak to men today, you ask? If you want to hear God speak, read the Bible. It contains His will, His plan, and His thought for your life. Secondly, God speaks through the conscience. Your conscience is a hearing aid through which the voice of God is distinctly heard. Thirdly, God speaks through the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is the liaison agent between God and man. It is He who invites and urges men to come to God. In gentle whispers, as well as in thunderous warnings, He draws the attention of men to God.
Discover how you can interact with God personally when you begin a relationship with His Son, Jesus Christ. Stop by our website, findpeacewithgod.net. That's findpeacewithgod.net. And it's from the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association.
Might want to hear what Lamar was able to do just in case. Listening to that 6 of 11 passing for B Shore, only 28 yards. Wilkerson, the 1 passing reception for 49 yards. That was a touchdown on the special teams fake punt. Googie, 2 rushing attempts for 4 yards. Davis, 1 rushing attempt for 2 yards. Wilhite, 2 rushing attempts for 15. B Shore, 23 yards, 123 rushing attempts, 172 yards. Austin Wilkerson, 6 rushing attempts for 26 yards, and Alex Wilkerson, 2 rushing attempts for 13 yards. 248 yards on the ground tonight for Lamar, and 77 through the air, 325 total. Looking over to the Indians, the Seneca Indian Ball Club, if I can get that pulled up real quick. Gavin Hoover, 18 passing attempts. I believe he looks like he connected on 11 of those. 9 of those, excuse me. And a total of 145 yards for Hoover tonight through the air. Gavin Hoover, 8 rushing attempts for 22 yards. Marr, 16 rushing attempts for 71 yards. Altick, 2 rushing attempts for 12 yards. Ackerson with his 6 receptions for 62 yards. Mars, 1 for 38. And Altick, 2 for 45. So 105 on the ground tonight for the Indians. 145 through the air, 250 yards total. They were outrushed. The Indians had more passing yards, but the big plays went in favor of the Indians tonight. Looking at drive chart yardage, Indians first half, 25 plays, 90 yards, 12:02 time possession, 27, 126, 11:58 for Lamar. Second half, very similar time of possession. The Indians 26 plays, 165, 11:55 off possession. 34 plays, 224 for Lamar in that second half, 12:05 on the clock. So 61, 350, 24:03 for Lamar. And for Seneca, 51 plays, 255 yards, and 23 minutes, 57 seconds. So very evenly matched time of possession, very evenly matched plays. And Lamar had just 100 yards more a gain on the night.
You think about it, we talked about coming into the game, number 1 in the state versus number 5 in the state. This is the type of game that you expected here this evening, maybe a little bit more high scoring than we may have thought. You know, we were hoping for, you said you were hoping for 14-7. I said 21-17, get a 36-33 shootout. But all that matters, it's a win. Lamar falls from the ranks of the unbeaten. All of a sudden, we'll talk about it in the scoreboard show, but all of a sudden, Seneca is sitting all alone in first place in the Big 8 West.
Yeah, it's a weird night of football tonight. Indians winning. I don't want to say weird, but a lot of weird events happened tonight. Tonight's game, and then all around the state in the scoreboard show, we got some shockers for you coming up in that post-game show, or excuse me, scoreboard show in just a few moments. Coach, any final thoughts tonight?
Well, yeah, you're talking about a shootout, but it's like a heavyweight fight. We took 2 good shots right in the first, and I think they kind of relaxed, saying, "Well, this is just normal. Here we go again." But, you know, we came back and hit them with a couple shots, and then they thought, oh, cow, here we go. And it was back and forth after that. It was good to see Seneca come back and take the blow, but come back and deliver one of their own. And time again, it's like there's no give up in this team. And I'm telling you what, you better watch it right now. because Hoover, I guarantee he's grown a lot tonight. I know he was antsy. I know he's hyped up, and he's throwing those balls over the head. He's going to watch that, and he's going to work on that. I guarantee he's going to be able to relax more in the future.
Well, Coach Hilburn talked about him, how much he works in the weight room, how much he's worked, and he's earned every bit of it. And tonight it's going to be one of those things where he's going to – I mentioned this during the game. I think he's one of those type of kids that's a very don't know him very well, but a very hard critic on himself, takes himself very hard if he wants to do better, expects more of himself, which is a great thing to have as a leader out there in the football field. And I bet he's going to learn and grow from that. He's going to have those nerves calm down a little bit. As you see him on the basketball court, he's able to do that when he needs to.
Yeah, he's all hyped up out there. I mean, they won the game, and he's all riding high. But I guarantee when he watches film and see how open they are, and he can't hit the kid or he can't hit the guy, he's going to be so mad at himself, so frustrated at himself. I guarantee you he's going to be working his little tail off this week to get that down. Well, that's not going to happen again.
Yeah, he's definitely going to go to the film room, go look at, maybe throw passes, put a nice little touch on him here and there, some things that he can sure up for the season going forward. And it's a good thing it's happening in week 4 rather than in week 9, week 10. Whenever you lose, you go home, or excuse me, week 10, week 11, you lose, you go home. It's one of those things where it's a good experience, and maybe not. You didn't necessarily play your best game and still came out on top. You found a way to win, and that's what makes you grow.
I tell you what, I liked it when I was down there talking to a few of the players around there, and I asked them, I said, can you come back down to earth for next week? And they just looked at me. I mean, they got that look in that eye and said, yeah, we're going to come back and work hard. Trust me, we got things to do. This is just one more step in the process of where they want to be.
And they mentioned it. I think Cody Hilburn mentioned it in the pregame show. This is just one step on a mountain that you're hoping to get to the peak at in December 2nd, 3rd, whatever day it is, where you play in a state championship game. They got a taste of what it's like to get to the state quarterfinals last year. None of those seniors want to, end their career here at home like those seniors did last year, and they want to end their season in Columbia, obviously hoping for a state title, but at the very least, end with no more games. Yeah. This is the last game you can give it your all.
Yeah, that's the look I got. I mean, I could see it in their eye when they just turned and looked at me and said, hey, can you come back next week and have a good, and they just turned and looked at me, and they got that stare in your eye and said, it's like, yeah, we're going to be there, and it's going to be all year long, boys, right here.
Great win for this Indian ball club. I mean, just so much excitement behind this game. A lot of media attention coming into tonight, and the Indians came ready to play. It wasn't their best game. I would say it wasn't their best game, but they found a way to get it done, and that's what good teams do. They find a way to get it done. They dig deep. We talked about them not getting into the fourth quarter of a game so far this year, having all their starters on the field. Tonight they had to do that. Lamar had to do that too. And you bet they're going to grow from this. They'll be a better team for it going forward, even though they still won. They found ways to win whenever things weren't exactly going their way. We're going to send it back to the studio. When we come back, we'll have the Final Drive Scoreboard Show, sponsored by Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
If you're a weekend warrior who likes to go, 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 don't let pain put the brakes on your pace. When you need help with an injury that keeps you from moving, you want an orthopedic team with a proven track record. Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is nationally recognized, and were recently named CareCheck's #1 hospital in the market and top 10% hospital in the state for hip fracture repair. Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, the experience you need to keep pace with life.
Welcome to the Final Drive Scoreboard Show on the KNEO Sports Network. The Final Drive Scoreboard Show is sponsored by Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, the official sports medicine provider for over 20 area high schools and colleges. See how one of their certified physicians, certified athletic trainers, or therapists can help you get back in the game. Now, let's go back live to the stadium for the Final Drive Scoreboard Show on the KNEO Sports Network.
Scoreboard Show sponsored by Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Running through our scoreboard tonight. Let's start in the Big 8. Marshfield leading Monette. Last check, a fourth quarter score, 34-24. Cassville final score over East Newton tonight, 35-0. Logan Rogersville over Mount Vernon final score, 26-8. So that's a loss for Mount Vernon. That will drop them down just a little bit as far as the points in district standings go. Reed Spring winners tonight over Hollister 34-14. Of course, your final here tonight, 36-33 Seneca over Lamar. Aurora over Springfield Catholic. Aurora picks up their first win of the season over Springfield Catholic 27-0. And a big shocker tonight in the Big 8 West. Mack County 1 point victorious over the Nevada Tigers 27-26.
So interesting here in the Big 8 West. Seneca all of a sudden jumps up to number 1. They're 4-0. You got 2 3-1 teams in both Nevada and Lamar. In the COC, we got ourselves another high-scoring game for Neosho. Republic beating them 63-48 in the fourth quarter. Nixa all over Branson here this evening, 57-17. Ozark blanks Willard 40-0. Carthage all over Carl Junction 48-12. And in what was probably the other big game here this evening, Joplin beats Webb City 24-8. Webb City only scoring 1 touchdown in that game. They also had a safety.
I think Webb City's also down. I think they were without 3 running backs last week for their backfield. Let's slip over to the Southwest Conference. Diamond fourth quarter score over Miller 38-22. Marionville over Central 18-13. And Sarcoxy over Sheldon, that's 36-29. That is a final score.
In the Ozark Conference, Glendale all over Hillcrest 52-7. That's in the fourth quarter. A final Camdenton over Parkview 65-6. West Plains all over Rolla 28-7. That's a final. And Kickapoo beats Waynesville 35-8.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll have more of the Final Drive Scoreboard Show sponsored by Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
If you're a weekend warrior who likes to go, 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 don't let pain put the brakes on your pace. When you need help with an injury that keeps you from moving, you want an orthopedic team with a proven track record. Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine is nationally recognized and were recently named CareCheck's #1 hospital in the market and top 10% hospital in the state for hip fracture repair. Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, the experience you need to keep pace with life.
Welcome back to the Final Drive Scoreboard Show, sponsored by Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Moving over to independent and 8-man scoreboard. Drexel over Jasper, 48-22. That's a final. College Heights falling short to Liberal tonight, 54-38. College Heights had picked up their first win last week. And Pittsburgh over Labette, 28-20. Stratford shutting out Clever tonight by a score of 57-0.
In Oklahoma, Porter all over Wyandotte, 41-0. Grove beats Wagner 28-20, and Quapaw over Northeast 41-12.
Moving over to the CNC Conference. Frontenac winners tonight over Bishop Ward 12-10. Girard over Glendon tonight 41-20, and Baxter Springs over Afton 12-6.
How about this? Baxter Springs the past 4 years I don't think has a win, and they're now 3-0 in the CNC. And the SEK over in Kansas 41-17. Chanute over Tonganoxie. That's the last update we have in the third quarter. Field Kinley beats Columbus 34-19, the final score there. Tight one is Fort Scott beats Independence 21-20, and Parsons beats Iola 40-14.
That's going to wrap up things on the Final Drive Scoreboard Show, sponsored by Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Special thank you to our studio producer, Gina White, back there keeping us all lined out. So for Kyler Barr, Gina White, Coach Darrell Harbaugh, Ben Wolcott, and Seth Wilson saying so long as Seneca wins this one 36-33. Join us next week as the Indians will travel to Monette to take on the Cubs here on the KNEO and Seneca Indian Sports Network.
You've been listening to the Final Drive Scoreboard Show on the KNEO Sports Network. The Final Drive Scoreboard Show is sponsored by Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. See how one of their certified physicians, certified athletic trainers, or a therapist can help you get back in the game. Join us again after the game next week as we will once again bring you all the latest scores right here on the Final Drive Scoreboard Show, sponsored by Freeman Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. This has been a live production of KNEO Sports. This broadcast may not be reproduced or retransmitted without the express written consent of KNEO Sports Network. This has been a sporting outreach of KNEO Sports Network, reaching into communities to make a difference for eternity.